Hey! Welcome to Session 0 of Aldgate Adventures, a Savage Worlds actual play on happyjacksrpg Network. To find all sessions of this game, go to happyjacks.org/aldgateadventures, I presume. I haven't checked that link, and it is Session 0, but I assume it will exist in time.
Someday.
In the future.
We should do some sequential games.
The future is
Throw that out there.
good.
And to find
Good thought.
Good. Okay.
And to find all the shows on the Happy Jacks Network, go to happyjacks.org. I'm Jon Enge, Heartbreaker, Love Taker, Ice Maker, Ass Shaker, and Game Master for this adventure. This probably won't come into play tonight, but quick content warning, we are going to make with the swears. I don't even notice when I do it anymore. It just happens. There will be a bit of blood, but nothing too graphic. More Lord of the Rings, not Game of Thrones. Speaking of Game of Thrones, we have safety tools in place. We have a Lines of Veils document, which everyone has filled out. We have an X card button here. Woo! If anyone presses it, no questions asked. We just move on. Any other safety tools that I've forgotten?
I was told that the blue button does the ejector seat, but that might have been someone might have been fibbing.
I thought it was
yeah.
that thing for old people, the life alert. What?
Yeah.
What is it?
Like I've fallen and I can't game.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Cannot game
My
on
dice
floor.
have fallen and cannot roll.
Technically, if you're prone, you have to roll with disadvantage anyway, right?
That's right.
Just
Right.
Sure.
Sure.
So, rules check out. Let's go around the room and meet the people who really make it happen. Me? Start with Brian.
Oh God. Hi, I'm Brian Suskind. I'm a designer for Cobalt Press and among other game companies. And today I'm playing this game in a rule set that I have played several times, but don't really know.
And who are you playing?
Oh, I am playing Devlin Harways, and he's a very cautious, nervous fellow for various reasons that will be revealed.
Oh.
Bum, bum, bum.
This is the part where everything goes like this.
Yeah.
Yes. Is it? Oh, it's me.
You.
Hi. Huh, I didn't realize I was next on the initiative order. Whoops.
Right here.
I know, it's like, it makes it. Anyway, hi everybody. My name is Vixie Bell. It's a pleasure to be back here at the Happy Jacks table. I have been here before playing this very same system, Savage Worlds. And in fact, we are looking at the return of Céline de Beaumont in the world of Aldgate.
Yes.
A lady of the night, companion, and duelist.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't wait to see
Shoe
what's in store
aficionado.
for her.
And shoe aficionado.
Yes, and shoe aficionado, fashion aficionado.
That's
actually.
true. Yeah, the whole kit and caboodle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely
She's
not a
the whole
shoe-in.
package for a reason.
That's right.
So.
He's like 5 packages.
Yes,
Wow.
in one.
Hi, I am Artem Yatsunov. Pronouns he, they. Super thrilled to be here. This is so cool.
Yes.
And we're playing a system I've never played before. And I'm excited to experience it. And I will be playing a character named Juno Falstaff. She's your plucky muscle mama. She's a barbarian barista. She's got her own to-go espresso kit. She's brewing stuff. She's tasting things. And she's also slaying things. So
You got two kinds of slay in this
Yeah,
party.
she's
huh?
killing it.
Right.
yeah, killing it in the tea game, killing it in the murder game.
Bit of both.
Like,
Sure,
yeah.
Hero game?
Yeah,
maybe?
hero
Yeah.
game. Hero game.
We're not playing Hero
Let's go
Games.
with that.
Hero game.
Sure, yes, no.
Yeah,
And yeah,
it all checks out.
Right.
really excited for y'all to meet my
Yes.
Juno.
Alrighty, hi, hello, it's me. I am also bringing a character back from our Savage Worlds one shot. I am playing Connie Duelist, who is a human witch, kind of a shyster, kind of a con, but witch with a heart of gold and maybe some of your gold in her own pocket.
I prefer
Yes.
to call you persuasive.
Very, very persuasive. My fingers are very persuasive at persuading your coins to leave your wallet
Exactly.
and enter mine. I use she, they pronouns, and so does Connie.
All right.
All of our coins belong to her.
Well, except mine because we split the difference.
Yeah.
which is-
Right.
That's
Oh,
that's a
that's-
whole. That's we have
yeah.
a thing.
We
Yeah,
had an
yeah.
agreement.
Yes.
It's written down.
Mhm.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So today we're going to be building characters or going over the characters we've built, building connections, going over the setting and house rules, doing all that fun stuff. And I don't want to take up too much time going over house rules and setting rules. And the Adventure Edition ended up incorporating a lot of my house rules. So there are very few, but some will pop up as we go, I'm sure. If you want to read what settings/house rules we're going to be using, you can find those at aldgaterpg.com.
Ooh.
Reading.
Gorgeous.
Yep.
site.
There are also maps and
you
lore
like
about the
reading.
If
world.
you like that kind of thing.
This is a world that I started developing in the 90s, and over the past few years, Brian and I have been collaborating on and expanding it and plan to release it as a book.
It's really
So,
interesting. You should
yes.
read it.
It's
Yes.
basically Renaissance to Baroque
Musket punk.
musket punk.
Musket.
Musket punk's a good word.
Okay.
Are we coining a new genre today?
Love it.
Yes.
Wow, I feel special. I was there,
I
you guys.
Remember this moment. We were here.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is
When?
history.
Musket Punk Industries presents.
Oh my gosh.
So I've encouraged all the players to create secrets for their characters, and then incentivizing them to spill their guts by awarding conviction, which brings us to setting rules. Savage Worlds has rules that you can add to your game to make it more high adventure or to make it gritty or anything in between. So the first one we're using is conviction, which is represented by this black coin that I'm going to be giving to everybody. And you spend this token to add 1d6 to all a character's trait and damage rolls until the beginning of their next turn. This die can also ace, and its result is added to the final total. And if you want to keep it rolling into the next into your next turn, you just spend another Benny, and you can just keep that d6 rolling. So and so once you spend that and it
juicy.
goes away, you can get a new one by either spilling one of your secrets or like doing a flashback to what happened in our last town that you were in.
Get you a flashback?
Yeah,
Wow, I feel like I've seen that before.
I know. Where did I?
Hmm.
Yeah. Vixie
This
ran
reminds me of
ran a game for
Deja vu.
some friends and did these, and I was like literally writing it down, going, "Oh, I'm adding this to the Aldgate game immediately."
Aw.
So yeah, it can be a secret or just some fun. It could be a fun flashback. It could be a dramatic flashback. Like why did you leave Mornhaven? Why are you heading to High Keep? Why are you heading to High Keep? Are you heading to High Keep? That's something we'll go over a little bit later. Some of the other setting rules.
Definitely going back to home.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Um,
Don't mind us. We're just talking while you talk.
That's okay.
We're those students.
How soon can we derail the whole game? Find out.
We could derail it before we get there.
It's happening right now.
It's like Traveler.
Oh no.
Yes.
I'm gonna die during character creation.
So some of the other ones, you guys each have character sheets. I made cheat sheets for y'all.
These
Yes.
are God's gift to Savage World.
Yes,
So good.
Yes.
because there's a lot of stuff to remember, and like none of us are old hat at this.
Very
I, before running the last game, was like, oh yeah, I can't wait to run Savage World. I know I've run this before. I've got all the books, and then realized the last time I ran Savage Worlds was in the previous edition. So I have been,
This is fine.
yeah.
So how different could it be?
There's a tabletop tango, a couple dudes from Chicago, and they're like Savage World experts, and I've been watching the hell out of their videos. They're super entertaining, and these guys are very knowledgeable. Highly recommend.
Tabletop.
Tabletop
Tango.
tango.
God, I love that.
They even have like the dude made a theme song for them.
Well, I mean,
Primo.
how could you not?
Yes.
With the
You
name
got
of
tango.
Tabletop
Yeah.
You got table.
Exactly.
We had to.
It's not a tango. It is like a metal song about Savage Worlds. It's awesome.
Expectations blown.
Yes.
Subverting
yeah.
the trope.
Expectations set.
We've got Musket Punk. Now we have Metal Tango.
Metal tango. Yes.
Anything's possible.
Dude.
Do the punk polka.
Creative combat is on one of those.
Yes.
Um,
I do
which
see it.
Yes,
we
I do.
can use if we remember to do tests, because tests are a very important part of this game. Where, you know, if you're having a hard time hitting somebody or maybe damaging them, you can do a test, you know, throw sand in somebody's eye. You can taunt them to try to get them out from behind cover, something like that. And they can be either, wait, where are those rules? Vulnerable. Oh God, I put it together at one point. Vulnerable or something else. And basically it either makes it easier to hit them, or they like don't have cover, or it makes it harder for them to act, like they have -2 to their rolls, or you have +2 to hit them, something like that. So
Use it to give us an advantage in combat.
yeah. And then the we'll just creative combat chart allows that if you get a raise on that. So, oh God, I'm gonna have to go into that too, aren't I? Allows you to like do something extra special and fun. So
Okay.
if we want to do that, we can do that. If not, because it's all a lot already.
You tell us, John, and we'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Petition for stirred to go on the creative combat because you still can be
Stirred?
shaken.
That's
Why not?
right.
Why can't
Oh,
they
like
be?
stirred.
I see. I was like,
Like a
stirred like
vibration
S
damage.
T
Yeah,
U R D. I was like,
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Absolutely.
Who wouldn't want to be
Dry?
James Bond, but in like, you know, the Baroque era?
That's right.
if
I
it's
like to
not
use my
Baroque,
garnish,
don't
please.
fix it.
If it's not Baroque, add ruffles and bows.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay.
Two different takes on
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got creative combat. Fanatics is something where a wild card enemy can basically, if I decide that he's dying too fast, one of his minions can go, "No, boss," and jump in front of him, and he dies instead.
Johnny, you're only one day away from retirement.
It was worth it because we got to save the boss who really totally cares about me.
Tell my mom I said.
Oh, God.
We've got fast healing, which wild cards, which are like the heroes or
That's us.
strong villains, make natural healing rolls once per day instead of every 5 days. Which means like when you rest, you can get a wound back because there is no hit points in this game. You've got 3 wounds. You've all got 3 wounds, and on the 4th wound, you are
Unconscious? Or
fired,
dead?
incapacitated.
Oh.
Fired, yes.
Fun
Fire.
conscious.
Fun
Fired.
conscious.
Unconscious.
Sent to the farm upstate.
Yeah. Sent to the farm upstate.
You live free and rumble across the board.
That sounds great.
Which fits in with Heroes Never Die, which is something that I'm just going to put out to you guys, like, because it kind of works, especially in this sort of situation. Savage Worlds allow you to set the tone when a PC goes down. They're not dead, they're incapacitated. There are some mechanical functions in this rule, but the way I think it'd be good to play it is when someone might die, we leave it up to that player. Is this the end? Are they severely injured and need to find some time to recover? Instead of falling to their death, did they fall into a pile of mattresses that left them just barely breathing?
Reincarnated as nearby animals. Just throwing it out there.
Ooh.
Not quite by like where your head is.
Okay.
I
I'd
think
like
they're
to
swashbuckling like a squid.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Eat tentacle with its own
Inked on me.
I'm just a. He made me ink.
Oh, you made me ink.
So I can basically just look at you and like be like, are you just unconscious or do you want to die at this point?
Yeah.
And I can leave it kind of up to you guys.
I'm a ghost now.
You know.
I used a special move called Make New Character.
Identical twin.
Yeah.
Make a clone.
Connie Jr.
Yes. Connie
Yeah,
the
can you use a
second.
Benny for that?
I brought 37 copies of the same bard.
Yeah.
Man, the amount of
different hair
times that I
colors?
had a
Yeah.
character
Like-
die when I was a kid playing D&D and
Yeah.
just wrote the second on there.
I just think of Street Fighter where you can like change the colors of the characters' outfits. That's pretty much it. Like
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
character
Yeah.
with
Same
different
character,
outfit.
same
like-
character, different outfit.
That's a blue character.
It's like Nurse Joy from Pokemon. There's like
My God.
canonically, they are all one family, all named Nurse Joy, who are all identical, even though they are like
Joy is the
cousins.
family name.
Mhm.
Yes.
There's giant foes. A common staple of fantasy battles against enemies so huge the heroes can freely maneuver between the foe's massive legs, be swallowed whole by them, or even ignored completely as though they were tiny insects.
Oh,
This
you know
basically
what
is a
I'm
rule that allows
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys, if you're fighting anything super big, you can dodge in between their
This is
legs.
great. This is
So,
fun.
Let me
Oh
channel my
gosh.
character. Like, we don't really have to fight. I mean, we could just talk to them or just like go away. I mean, if it's okay
Yeah.
with you,
If
it's
we
fine.
come across a giant,
There's always something
my
to
God,
do.
am I gonna be?
Well, listen, it's not size that matters, all right?
Well, but when you're slaying them,
it doesn't not matter.
the bigger the better. Does it not matter?
It does not matter. High adventure. Characters can spend a penny to gain the one-time use of combat edge.
We're just gonna slide on by.
Edges are basically like feats and stuff that you can use. They're what is really powerful about this system, makes it super fun and customizable, is they give you your special abilities essentially. They're like feats or
They make you
something.
edgy.
They make you edgy.
Yeah.
Edge load.
And we all talk like Batman.
Teleports behind you. It's nothing personal.
Yeah.
Just understands me.
Darkness, no parents.
This is real music, Emmett.
Right. So you can use pennies.
Remember how we
With
said
high
we were gonna
adventure.
derail this campaign?
Yeah.
I know. The problem is I am not the responsible one. So,
There's no parents here. They left us
Yeah,
unsupervised.
Timmy should not have left.
We just turned the strobe light on.
She already has a
Boots and
child.
pants and boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and
All right. Yeah. This is gonna be a fun game.
Just hear like banging on the doors, like. "Bah, bah, bah, bah."
Yes.
Can't hear you.
So-
It's locked.
Oh my god.
So
Sorry.
characters can spend a penny to gain a one-time use of a combat edge. You have to meet the rank and edge as usual. Ignore trait requirements. Multiple bennies can be spent in one round for multiple edges. So you have something for your class.
Oh yeah, the fighter thing.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
fighter
I can-
thing that
yeah.
allows you to do that, but for like a lot longer. But you can also spend a penny to throw something on top of that, so they stack.
No.
Yeah.
Usually you got to pay double for that kind of thing.
That is a house rule, but we'll get to that later.
Oh, snap.
Yep.
Pretty rad.
Oh yeah, I recommend if you're thinking about using this rule, you write down a couple of the edges you might want to use and just have them nearby, maybe on a card or
Basket weaving.
Well, there's one that you and I discussed that I want to make sure I get on
Yes. We're using the more magic, which is power points recover at twice the speed as normal. Characters recover 5 hit points or power points. Wow. Per half hour spent resting, meditating instead of every hour.
Huzzah!
Am I
Not
the
a
only one who
lot
uses
of magic
magic here?
happening around
I think
here.
it's just you.
Just you.
It's
Yeah.
just me.
Mm-hmm.
All on you.
Yeah.
Remember that one time we had more than one person that cast more?
Yeah. I'm gonna miss that teleport spell.
I know! So unfair!
I'm so happy.
We could.
Take teleport.
No, you can't.
Maybe I learned
No, it's against the
something.
rules. Witches can't teleport. That's thing it says in the back of the book. You may not have gotten there yet.
Maybe I could pick something up from the wizard. Who knows?
Couldn't we just vote on it right now? I mean, it seems like there's more of us than him.
Yeah. Let's.
Yeah.
We all unionize right
Yeah.
So
now.
more skill points is a
We're the captain.
more skill points means normally you get 12 points to spend on skills. In this game, you get 15. Multiple languages. Your hero knows their cultural or national language, plus an additional number of languages equal to half their smarts die. We're probably mostly going to be like, yeah, you'd speak that.
Oh, I would speak a lot of languages. You'd be
Mm,
surprised
you
what people
would.
say in bed. Anyway. Moving right along.
Yes, unarmored hero.
I'll be here all night.
If you choose not to wear any
So will
armor, you add +2 bonus to your soak rolls.
Ooh,
Yeah.
if you're unarmored.
if you're unarmored,
Yes.
yeah. So if you're
Interesting.
going straight off your parry, then instead of getting armor, you can soak easier, which is so soak roll is basically if you take damage, then you roll a vigor check with a target number 4.
Okay.
Right? What unarmored hero makes that a 2. So
Interesting.
Unarmored here, you said?
yeah. I think it's pretty dope.
Pretty good.
Feels real Aldgate to me.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
I mean, I was told there'd be no combat, but you know, it's fine.
Okay, so I really think someone sold you on Water.
Wound
It's a wrong
cap.
game. Yeah, it's a good game.
Wound cap. So sometimes there's just like incredibly swingy rolls in this game because dice can explode, which means if you roll the maximum number on a die, you roll it again and add it. And like I'll just sit
love
around
that.
like at breakfast, like playing with dice at my table because I got a big box of them there, and like doing like fake combats and stuff like that. And then every now and then I roll like 4 6s in a row, which could like go from not wounded at all to dead in one roll. Wound cap makes it so you can never suffer more than 4 wounds in a single hit, and therefore never have to soak more than 4 wounds either.
Can we get that, but the bad guys don't have it?
So for...
As far as you know, sure.
Great.
I cast delete.
Undo.
Yeah.
I feel like
Call an ambulance, but not for me.
Yeah, John, you messaged me the other day and you were like, frenzy? If you're acing those rolls?
Oh yeah.
Like,
More than
oh.
4 wounds
Like
in
oh,
a
just
turn? Or...
absolutely
Yeah, yeah.
wrecking
By
it
By the way.
with
I was
frenzy.
like, all right.
I think he's had enough. You want what he's having? Justice for Gotham.
He'd fall down dead, so I keep
Justice
punching him.
All right. Let's go around the room and introduce everyone's characters. We already did that.
We're so
We're way
ahead
ahead of schedule.
Thanks for playing, everybody. We'll see you next time.
All right. Boy, we really knocked it out, huh?
Yeah, wow, we got that. Wow,
Well
what a
done,
great show.
everyone.
What an amazing, you know.
All right. So let's see here. Oh, okay. This is the part where I explain a little bit about how rolling is done in Savage Worlds.
Hey. Dun, 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 dun.
I probably don't actually need dice for this, but
Do you need dice?
Do you need dice?
There's a big
I know I
jar
have
of
them.
dice everywhere.
What about dice?
Do you need
It's
it?
on the
wait,
other, it's on the other side of your
They're-
damn
They're
screen.
they're actually propping up my
Uh,
my laptop.
I see.
Oh.
Mhm.
But what about more dice?
More dice.
If you want dice, half of us are dice goblins.
No,
We
I was
got-
just going to talk about how the dice.
We can just tell you what your dice rolled. You don't have to roll. We'll just tell you what they got. Yeah.
God, double ones again.
Weird.
Aren't we the
Keep
most
rolling it.
helpful?
So helpful.
Very helpful.
All right. Little note from Kimmy. We sound great.
Thank
you.
you.
Try to keep from talking over each other.
Gorge.
It gets confusing on the other end. All right. Yes. So, Savage Worlds. When you buy a skill or you have, they're called traits. So it's a skill or a tribute, and they are you buy dice in them. So it's a D4 through a D12, and then you're going to roll a D6, which is called your wild die, because your heroes, your well, there's another word for it in Savage Worlds, but I don't remember now.
Super cool people.
Wild cards.
Wild
Wild
cards,
card.
yeah, that's what
Yes, your wild cards. And then you take the highest of the two. You don't add them together. Yeah. Keep like going for dice. I don't actually need them, but I fiddle. I've got ADD. Mhm. See the wild cards. Here's the great roll.
Thank you.
So you take the highest of the two. If you roll the maximum number on the die, as I was talking about before, you roll it again and add the both numbers together. So if you roll a 6 on a d6, you roll it again. If you got a 4, that's a 10. And if you roll a 6 and then a 6 and then a 6 and then a 6, that's 24. Chances are, yeah. And so if you do that on a hit roll, you add another d6 to your damage roll. And then, yeah, there's just no end to how much damage can actually explode, which is super fun, right? Like you guys on our last little one shot, we blew up so much.
Yes, we exploded a lot of dice.
Yes,
He just like dropped dead. I don't know why.
there was a lot of dropping dead.
Mm.
And if you don't like the result, let's say if you rolled and you got, a 1 and a 2, if you roll a 1 and a 1, it's a critical failure. There's no re-rolling that. But if you rolled a 1 and a 2, you can spend a Benny to re-roll. Everybody gets 3 bennies at the start of each session, and you can earn more by doing cool things, great role playing, or just making me laugh. Darby is the pun queen, and almost took my whole bag of bennies because of it. I just at one point just said, I can't just keep doing this. She's too good at it. But I will be.
You just got afraid that Darby was going to go all in on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'd like them to just disappear forever, please. How is 37 bennies?
Yes. But they're also used for soak rolls, so you don't want to blow them all on re-rolls, because when you start taking damage and suddenly you're like, oh man, like I shouldn't have gotten a re-roll to like pet the cat, It would have been okay.
That was an important role.
It is.
Pet cat.
What else can't we pet?
I mean, you
while we're on
can,
the topic?
but just don't roll about it.
No petting of
Yeah,
pets.
don't re-roll.
Yeah, don't
Yeah,
re-roll it.
yeah.
If the cat doesn't like you, they
Okay.
don't like you. You just have to accept it.
Keep moving.
Oh, do you want to talk about other stuff? Okay, sure.
Just right there. So attributes. There are 5 attributes: agility, smarts, spirit, which is kind of your willpower and charisma. So agility is obviously like your dexterity. Smarts is how smart and intelligence you are. Spirit is kind of a willpower charisma crossover, I think. At least when I looked it up earlier, because I'm like I never really know what exactly that is. That's what it said. Strength is anybody?
Strengthiness.
Strengthiness. Boom. Done.
Sweet.
Wait, we
and-
could get bennies right now?
Yeah, but they don't transfer from game to game, so
I
I'm
spend
just pandering.
I spend a benny to get a +1 on a skill point.
There we go.
They do carry over if I don't give these back, though.
Wow.
Throw that
I
out there.
mean, I probably won't double check.
I should have studied harder for this test.
Let's see. Oh, and then there's vigor, and that's how tough you are and how much you can soak up damage. When you start taking damage, so if somebody hits you and they exceed your toughness, which is a derived stat, which we'll get to in a minute, then you are shaken. So shaken just basically means you can't do anything except to move unless you make a spirit roll to shake it off, and that's shake off the shaken. And that you're just trying to roll 4. Or you can just drop a Benny at any point to remove your shaken. And then if you take more damage beyond being shaken, that's when you start taking wounds and you start soaking wounds. This will all start being a lot easier when we're actually just playing. But let's have you guys talk about your characters and like who they are, what their specialties are, and like what attributes you all have bought. Who wants to start? I'll give you Benny.
I'll start.
I was gonna volunteer her.
All right, so I'm going over like my traits and those things.
Yes, so this would be attributes. So that's the agility, smart, spirit, strength, and vigor. So
Yeah.
like Connie is a witch.
She's a witch, so I pumped a lot into smarts. My smarts is a D8. Red. She is a very educated witch with not a lot in strength. That's just staying
D4.
edges. D4, maybe. She's not here to lift things. That's what other people are for. A D6 in vigor because she's lively, not frail and weakly and about to blow over with the wind. And just sort of a D6 in agility and a D6 in spirits.
Very nice.
Juno. So Juno is a barbarian kind of build. I was borrowing a little bit from the Savage World Pathfinder, taking some guidance there. So I also decided to use like the orc ancestry that was offered.
Yes.
Because I figured because it does a good balance.
Yeah.
Of some things that you get with it. So just the attributes I've got. I got her agility up at 10.
Woo!
Okay, she's agile. Okay. Smarts, she gets a -1 from her ancestry. And I kept it at a D4.
So it's a D4 minus 1.
It's a D4 -1. So
Dope.
there's gonna be some things she's just gonna miss in this world. I am still contemplating like moving things around for spirit, but currently spirit is also a D4.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe with time.
Well, the spirited discussion about it.
Oh.
True. We'll get spirited
It
away.
begins. It begins.
And
I probably shouldn't throw those.
But I'll die.
Just
see,
toss
your-
it into your
your
witch
pun
house.
skill-
Hey.
your pun skills are aspirational. No, it's not enough.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's
Um,
raining pennies.
So and I've got her strength at a D10.
Uh-huh.
She's a muscle mama, and her vigor. So her strength starts at a D6 because of her orc ancestry. So it was an easy hop, skip, and a jump away to 10. And then her vigor is at D6, also from the orc ancestry. So,
Nice.
yeah, you know she does a lot of body weights. She does crunches. She
Swole.
does pull-ups. Yeah, she's swole.
She's swole.
Yeah.
What about Vixie?
Oh, hi. Hello. I was just thinking about swole, which I am not. Céline is pretty. I actually kind of put a little more into her agility because she does. I believe she gets a negative. Well, it says -1 on the sheet, so I don't know where she's getting that -1 from though. She's a half elf, so I don't know if that even applies. Anyway, her agility is at a D8. She is a fairly smart person, but I would say that she's probably let her education lack a little bit or at least her education she's polished her education in other areas as opposed to more conventional ones. So she's got a D6 in smarts. She's also got a D6 in spirit as well. She is a little stronger than she looks, but otherwise she's pretty average. She's got a D6 there and a D6 in vigor. I think I just kind of ended up moving things into the average, into averages just to play it safe.
D6 is average, D4 is a little below average.
Jack of all trades.
D4 -1 is...
Yeah. I was gunning for versatility more than anything else. I wasn't really sure when I was building her. I wasn't really sure how to optimize the build because that's usually not where I operate from. So I can probably shift a few things around to make her a little more.
Yeah, that's something if you're watching or listening at home, you may notice from game to game things may shift around because I'd rather people have fun than be locked into a character that they made when they didn't know the system very well. So yeah, all you got to do, just any changes that you have, you can send me a message, whatever. Let me know what's happening. I'll probably
Everything's a D10
awesome.
now.
Wow, all D12s across the board.
Oh no. Anyway, but yeah, that's pretty much where she's at with her attributes.
be like, all right.
Well, Devlin is, he was a musketeer. So at one point, he was pretty confident about what he was doing. But times have changed a little bit. So his agility's up pretty high because he's a musketeer. He can use the firearm. So I have that at a 10. And I figured that he was he was a captain. So like he had training and he had education. So I put smarts up at 8. And spirit's way down at 4 because I think, because I always love having at least one trait that's really low because it's just fun to play.
I can't relate.
Well, not with the D12s that you have.
No,
all
of
across the
course.
board. I have his strength at 8 only because I ended up using an advancement because we were starting to see some characters to bring it up there, and I had to have a 6 to start with in order to be a fighter from the Pathfinder Savage World book. And vigor's just at 6. Because I'm sort of a similar build to Juno, though. I'm certainly going to stand behind you.
Fair, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's quite tall.
Yeah. Devlin is not.
Well, and Devlin is more of a shooter than a crossing swords.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
that Devlin can't.
I own a sword.
Yes.
It's like over here.
It's a short sword.
It's sort of a prop.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it's still in box.
Still in box.
Still in box. Yeah.
It's mint condition.
Yeah. Oh, total. Yeah.
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 So let's not go through all of our skills, but what are some skills that like really define Devlin?
Lycanthropy, I think, is probably the big one.
I'm not sure that's a skill.
No.
It's certainly not on my skill.
No, his it's probably his biggest skill is shooting. I mean, like he was very very much trained. That's still his like go-to.
Right.
But I really wanted to so partly for some of the story reasons that we'll get into later with him, his biggest skills are fighting, shooting, and notice, because there's this whole like scent thing going on where you can do stuff with that. But I did put a point in battle. I have no idea what that does, but it seems soldiery.
That's my favorite thing to do. Like, I actually encouraged everyone to take a hobby skill. Like, what's something you do? Do you play an instrument, or cards, or make tea?
Well, I didn't know how to do with Devlin because I wanted him that he crochets. But I didn't know that there's no skill. Like, is there a skill for crochet?
That's the thing in
Right?
Savage Worlds. You can just make custom skill crochet.
On it.
Yeah.
Actually, it's battle.
And you don't even have to be good at it. Yeah,
Crochet
exactly.
is war.
What about Céline?
So Céline has some interesting. I kind of wanted to really spotlight. She's a roguish kind of duelist archetype. So that's what I was building off of. So she has I stacked her athletics. I also needed a couple things for her edge. So I'm pretty sure that some of these are due to the edges that she has. She has I stacked her fighting as well. She's average in fighting. It's not like a D8 or a D10, but it's definitely a D6.
Okay.
And she has a D8 in stealth. She's very crafty and very subversive in her manners. Yes, she's crafty. But for her hobby skill, I kind of fell into the same situation because she is she's a connoisseur of fine perfume.
Oh yes.
This is the lady who can tell the difference between Chanel and Dior on a person. And I wasn't sure where that fit in terms of all of these skills.
Yeah. I don't even care if you spend points in it. You can just write it down.
Right. Perfume.
So cool.
Perfumery.
So I really resonate with like the not bounds build. I love having like these like sort of blind spots or whatever, if you want to call them. I think power gaming is not really for moi. But I like that. So her smarts, as we've discussed, are not great. But I wanted to give her a whole bunch of things she's curious about. Because I think the idea is like, she's not stupid. She's just
Naive, maybe?
maybe. I think it's more like she's like just something she hasn't learned about. So it's like, she'll blunder into a situation and be like, huh, interesting. Okay. Well, good to learn, But there's a lot of like sort of like confidence that she kind of goes into. So there's a little naivete, yeah. So okay, so I gave her high fighting. She's at a D10, and high athletics also at a D10. So pretty decent stealth at D8. And then she's just got a bunch of D4 things. Let me tell you, 15 points go quickly.
They really do.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
disappear all
They
of a sudden.
do.
12 even faster. That's why I was like, no, this is bullshit.
I gave her a skill in research, science, boating,
Boating.
the occult,
Mm-hmm.
and I figure she might have verbal barb with some folks. So I gave her a taunt and survival. I figure she's like, well, I can look for berries, or I can find some leaves and turn this into a potent potable.
Nice.
Nice.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you want to talk about your hobby skill?
So like my hobby skill, I really love the idea. I was kind of, my whole thing is she's just a big fan of hot beverages, mulled wines, like herbal teas, cinnamon drinks, coffee. She's all about it. She's like into like learning the rituals and traditions of like all these different hot sort of like beverages. So I think she's always kind of on the lookout of like one of her, we'll get to her later, but one of her gears was like she's got an alchemist kit.
Yeah.
So she's just like has like beakers and is like, well, if I add this kind of mud to this kind of twig, how does that taste like? You know, she's like occasionally it's just like, gang, I'll catch up with you. She's just like throwing up in the wood, like, all right, okay, that recipe's gone. So yeah, she's really into I think making coffee, tea, that kind of stuff. One day, maybe she'll have a swell little coffee shop when she settles down.
I'm just imagining every
Almost
evening
fine.
we're traveling through the woods, and every evening like you're setting up your espresso machine.
Yeah. In the mornings, a French press
Yeah.
Yeah.
or Highlands press.
We got to make camp. We got a good 3 hours left. Yeah, but I need time. Set up.
Yeah.
Pulling the wagon with all
Yeah.
the pieces, brought like all the
Yeah.
copper pieces. And
Run at that like slow drip.
Yeah, slow-
thing.
yeah.
It's gonna need about 12 hours.
What about Connie?
Connie, surprisingly, one of her major skills is spell casting.
Sure.
Big surprise. But other
What die do you have?
I have a D8 in,
D8,
or yes, a D8. I know how to read. Connie, maybe not. I don't know. But a D8 in spellcasting. I believe she also has a D8 in notice. She's really keen. She's a little bit of a pickpocket, so she's got a little bit of thieving, and so
Sure.
she's thieving around. She's pretty aware other people might have loose fingers near her pockets, and she's not about that life. Being stolen from. Other things that she kind of dabbles around with, including like healing, a lot of D4s in the spirit arena, but persuasion is pretty high. She is, as much as she is a good-hearted witch who likes to help those down on their luck, she is also a bit of a shyster, and she will con you out of your money if she thinks that you are rich and kind of a dick.
Yes.
Yeah.
She will con you out of her money.
Yeah, because you were
it's
just
about
holding
to
on
be
to it
her
for
money.
me. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're just keeping it warm for me. That's really kind of you to do so.
Great.
Hobby wise, I went with like most characters. I was just like, I know how to do origami, and therefore all of these characters, no matter who they are, know how to do origami. I don't care if that's practical
great.
or not.
It's
all
not the easiest thing to learn. I would do the same thing.
There may be no paper in this world, but that character knows origami.
I'll fold something. I'll fold your spine.
We're gonna conveniently find like ye olde baroque like scrap paper shop.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like vellum origami. Like,
Right, exactly.
Crane,
What's the name of the vellum
crane.
shop?
Well, whether or not we find it will be something we see.
Maybe. All right. So in Savage Worlds, PCs can have up to 4 points of hindrances, which are, flaws and stuff. So,
Flaws.
I mean,
you don't have any.
You mean character
but
development?
practically perfect in every way. Yeah, so we'll just start with you and
Back
go
with
back
me.
around. But if it has anything to do with your secrets and you don't want to reveal that, you don't have to.
Redacted.
It's blacked out.
Just like mute the mic. Connie's hindrances are curious, which is a major hindrance. She is nosy as fuck. Also a bit of that like notice going into just like she sees something happening that she thinks is interesting. She will follow that for her own benefit, maybe not. But also is stubborn and wanted for redacted. Those are her hindrances, I guess.
Love that.
Fun stuff.
It's so funny. I was same wavelength. I was thinking about curious because I like the idea that Juno's just like, all right, I don't know what this thing is. I'm gonna pick it up, I guess. You know, it's like, oh, it's
I don't know what it is. I'm gonna put it in my mouth.
Cool.
I'm gonna lick it.
I just think that I just think with like I was trying to figure out like I think with Juno, she's like lived a very one kind of life. Like she's been all these like battles and campaigns, and she's like I think in her like mid-30s, and so at this point she's just wants to experience more things. So that's where I was like there. But for my hindrances, per the Pathfinder suggestion of the ancestry, which I kind of actually dug because I was also looking at this, they're suggest doing a major outsider. So you're like, but I don't know if that necessarily clicks with where orcs fit in Aldgate society as a whole.
Lore.
But yeah, so there could be something interesting we could talk about because because the answer sheet suggested as like major, which is like
Right,
two
right.
constant
And
names.
orcs in Aldgate came from somewhere else. There was a huge war, like World War II. It happened about 100 years ago, was the Orc War. And at the end of that war, Baba Yaga, who was in charge of all the witches in the Midlands,
Bargain agreement.
Negotiated.
They created a
negotiated
treaty.
the treaty, thank you, of the orcs' surrender.
Right.
And in that basically said, you will all have homes in the Midlands, and they're now kind of this like standing army for all of the free states, the city states around the Midlands. And so a lot of them are like almost like knights and stuff. And there's every year a big, it's war season, and so that's kind of what they do for a living. And so they're not so much outsiders.
Yeah. Okay.
But they can be,
Well,
their
Different customs.
yeah, their customs and stuff could definitely, and then also just kind of how they look at life, because they pick up a sword, and start training with it as
Yeah.
soon as they're able. So
but maybe Juno's
Mhm.
the outsider with her love of hot beverages is not really very
It's like a double whammy.
well,
right?
Very orky.
rah orc.
Yeah. Doesn't fit in with regular folks. Doesn't fit in with orc.
Yeah.
Drinks a pint of beer with a pinky up.
Yeah. something like
You know,
that.
drinks it hot. I mean,
Drinks it hot.
Hot beer. What the hell?
More.
To be fair, in
Um,
some places it is served at room temperature, but that's
That's right.
a weird thing.
Yeah.
I know. So,
That's a
yeah.
European thing, right?
It's a European thing.
But those rooms are usually pretty cool, because
The room
when
temperature.
England does something room temperature, it's like 50.
That's pretty funny. Well, so I guess we could, if you want, we could minimize and take that to a minor, because there's another hindrance I've got
Sure.
in mind. But along with that, I do have a major hindrance, which is my secret that I can't talk about.
Redacted.
Secrets.
But I
At
think
this table.
What do you
how dare I?
mean?
So I think another minor
We're open
hindrance I could give
books.
her is maybe loyal. So,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
loyal to her friends, because that whole mentality of like, hey, all for one and one for all,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
whole kind of vibe, which I think will just put her in harm's way, which is perfect because she's huge and she's beefy and she's all about it.
I love
You
it.
know?
I love it. Yeah, loyal would work really
Cool.
well.
Sweet.
Hello.
Hello.
We were just talking about beefy. Now we're not talking about beefy anymore because this is not a beefy person. But anyway, for Céline actually has a couple of little things. So her hindrances, her major hindrance is that there is let's see, what is this? I think this might be redacted. Although there's a couple things here that are blacked out and redacted that I'm not going to get into.
Mm.
So we'll just get into the things that I can talk about. She's stubborn. That's a minor thing. And she's suspicious, which is also a minor thing that may or may not have got her in trouble and ended up being suspicious.
Don't be
She
suspicious.
thinks everyone's
Don't be
suspicious. This is
suspicious.
full Capricorn energy, okay? Everyone is sus. So-
I'm watching you.
exactly. Mhm.
it occurs to me now that in making Devlin, I probably should have kept some things a secret, and I haven't. I've just sort of talked about all of them.
Open
So-
up,
So you can
baby.
pretend from here on out if you'd like.
Well, no, I'll just come up with a secret besides the other
right.
things.
Secret inside a secret.
Damn.
So he has two major hindrances.
Mhm.
He is wanted
Mhm.
for. Well, actually, I've already told you all of you what it is, and actually, I'll tell the viewers too, because why not? So he's wanted for murder, for inadvertently murdering his entire unit of musketeers, and then he ran. Apparently, this happens when you turn into a slavering claw beast, and at the full moon, and
To quote Zuko, that's rough, buddy.
yeah,
You turned into a crab.
yeah.
To a crab.
Were crab.
We're crab.
It's very tragic.
You can hear it cooking in the night.
But he's also driven, and he's right now at least he has a major hindrance of driven, that he's driven to find a cure, and because the usual cures have not worked.
Mhm.
I will mention of Celine's secrets, one is minor and one is major. So.
Oh.
Very nice.
Who has secrets? Not me.
Just gonna skip over to edges. Oh god, we really need
Time
to just
to be edgelords.
I have a question.
yes.
On the hindrance thing, it talks about perk points. Are those things that we are using or not using?
I totally know what perk points are, and I will give you a
I know what they are.
yeah. What are they?
If you take hindrances, you can take a perk, which can be like you can increase an ability, get a new edge.
Oh,
That stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
right, yeah. So yeah, the number of edges you get at the beginning are based off of like how many hindrances. So like technically when you make a Savage Worlds character, you're supposed to start out with hindrances, which to me is always completely ass backwards. Like that's the last thing I want to do. But those things give you points to spend as far
More
as
points.
edges and stuff go.
If you use the online character maker
Does
thing,
it.
it'll add it for you.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Savage.us, I believe.
Yeah, savaged.
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 Yeah.
And
Like
you have to make an account.
Have to make
Yep,
it count.
or it is
Make
gonna
it-
lock you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will zap your character, so make an account.
Nice character you have there. Be a shame if it deleted.
The voice of experience, folks.
I would never.
So yeah, what about edges? What's everybody taking for edges?
Well, aside from the whole lycanthropy thing, which is not really an edge as much as like a
lifestyle.
disease. So for Devlin, I picked sort of fighter was like his main like first edge
You take a class edge.
yeah, because and as a human you get a free edge, and that's what I took for him. But for the
in Pathfinder, the class edges are free.
They are.
Yes, that's what it says. It says
Is it?
yeah, it says you take a free class edge.
Add
Which is why,
another
for those of
edge.
you who haven't taken the class edge out of the Pathfinder book, one, if you would like to, you can go back and do that. Two, if you don't want to do that, you can just take a free edge.
You should take cleric.
Because we need a healer.
I'll go
No,
do those.
it seems like the most ridiculous thing in the world.
Yeah.
So.
Because I thought,
I was
This is
gonna
like,
hand
do I
you that
have
book, but I
cleric
don't have
vibes
it.
too?
yeah, would arcane background count as the class edge, or that's separate
No,
from
that's separate.
word?
Word.
Are we still limited to how many edges we can take though per level? Because I know I filled
So-
out like all of my edges are there.
Right. Everybody is seasoned with 4 advances, but yeah, you're not.
Limited. To...
This is on top of those edges. So
Okay.
like, yeah.
Thanks.
So for edges, I took ambidextrous and dual weapon fighter, so I can do like the 2-pistol thing.
Pew pew.
And then rapid change, which is out of the one of the
books.
one of the books that allows him to change form as a limited action. And
We're
then
using 3 books for this. It is the Savage Worlds Adventure Edition, the Fantasy Companion, the
Yep.
Suede Fantasy Companion, and then also the Savage Worlds Pathfinder. So
and the Savage Worlds Pathfinder, the fighter, gives you a really cool ability called martial flexibility that I can gain the benefit of a combat edge for 5 rounds, like each encounter. Basket weaving apparently is not a combat edge, just in case anyone was curious.
background edge, yo.
Yeah, that's right.
Get it right.
And as a human, you start with a free edge for adaptability. So I have no idea how many edges I'm supposed to have, but apparently
A lot.
I have a lot.
Let's see. We start
Yeah.
with 4, and then you get that free class edge, and then you get the free human edge.
Yeah.
That sounds like 6.
To start?
One,
We start with
2, 3,
4?
4, 5.
Well, you have 4 advances, so those
Oh, I
advances you
see.
can use to
You
either
get an
find
edge.
an edge or
Like you can up a class ability
up a skill.
or an attribute or whatever.
yeah.
Well, hey, those
See,
perk points
that's
are
why
about to
you
become
use
edges
the
right
online
now.
character thing,
How many
'cause it
edges do you
does
have?
all of that for you. I didn't have to think about making my
okay.
character. I just made
I got one
them.
for being a human, and then I mulched both of those perk points into edges. So that's 3 to start,
And
and
some
then
edges will require you.
I put another 2 advances into edges. So 5.
5. Okay.
Maybe
sounds
6.
about
I
right.
haven't thought about that last one. I'm like wavering.
Yeah, we'll take a look. That sounds like you got all the right edges.
I am a pentagon.
Nice.
5 inches.
I think for my seasoned edge, I took marksman because
Oh, but you get one more because of
Season.
the thing. You took
So you can be a
marksman.
hexagon
Awesome.
Oh,
Marksman
yeah,
does what?
I'm a hexagon.
marksman.
I read it like this
If
afternoon.
firing a weapon with no more than a fire rate of 1 as a first action, you can add 1 to an athletics throwing or shooting roll, or ignore up to 2 points of penalties from called shots, cover, range, scale, or speed.
Woo!
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
I don't know what those are,
Sweet.
but I can definitely deduct 2 points from any kind of penalty involving them.
Yeah. And I'll
Nice,
probably
very
be
nice.
like,
Who knows? I mean, I don't know.
most of the time, I'll probably be like, yeah, sure, that sounds like it counts.
Yeah.
So,
It's like, this sounds good. Sure.
Those
Yeah.
certainly sound like words.
They're words that I did.
yeah. Yeah, so I think Connie gets one more.
Wait, I
Sort
have
of-
all some edges. I can
I
be
got
edgy.
some edges.
I got some edges.
It's magic.
The first one is acrobat, which
Very nice.
allows me to reroll most athletics.
Mm-hmm.
The second is aristocrat, based on the type
Mhm.
of clientele to which she caters to. She gets a +2 to common knowledge and networking with the upper class. So I am a fiery networker.
Mm-hmm.
And then she gets she also has assassin. +2 to damage foes when vulnerable, or the
shit.
assassin has a drop. I did say I made a roguey
Yeah,
duelist.
and there's
Sweet.
something out there that like turns. Oh god, it turns. I want to say distracted or vulnerable into the drop for assassins,
Yes.
which
Just
which is
fine.
probably an edge that you could just drop a penny on
Yeah.
when you needed it,
Mhm.
so you don't have to take it.
The other one that she has is connections. So contacts provide aid or other favors once per session. Once
That's
again,
awesome.
thanks to her clientele.
So this adventure, and I've told everybody this, is going to be a road adventure where they're not going to be in a city and all of that. But I want this sort of thing to come into play as well. So in addition to flashbacks to get conviction and stuff like that, that you guys can do flashbacks to get stuff or information, or like if you're doing, a history check or something like that, you can, and then Céline can go like, oh, well, it was a good thing when we were in town that I went and saw
This
blank.
person,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
And the
Good
last,
thing we never left town.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So- and
Probably
then the last
please.
edge that she has is called Duelist. That's the one that we talked
Oh
about.
yeah,
Mhm.
and it is dope as hell. You should actually like, for everybody at the table, just let them know what that is.
I would love to
Unless
if
you
I
don't want to.
remembered what it was.
You don't have to. We can move on if you'd rather. If
Huh? What?
we can come back. We can come back. to it.
Yes. Give me an opportunity
All
to
right.
look this up.
Artem.
Well, now that I know that I can have so many edges,
So many edges.
so I get it's a free edge.
It's a
for the
free
class?
edge. Yeah,
Oh my
I read
God.
that
Who knew?
5 times in the Pathfinder book.
Gorgeous.
It says
Um,
everybody at character generation gets a free class edge.
We didn't have time to read the whole book.
Look,
Nice.
there's a lot of
Choose.
stuff coming at you, and we're all helping each other.
We are. We're doing
And
our
also,
best.
like, I really like my player characters to be heroes. So, like,
Yes.
I'm excited for you.
I took an edge called We Won.
Ooh.
Yeah.
that worked. Yeah. I just
Oh,
spent a
see-
penny and we win.
See, I took
love
the
it.
one called Deus Ex Machina, in which we all
Nice.
miraculously survived.
well, the barbarian edge is wild because it's like 6 different things you get with it, which is fantastic. So I took that, obviously.
Mhm.
I took the aforementioned frenzy.
Rah.
Let's get crazy, guys.
Yes.
I also took counterattack, which is
Ooh,
really sweet. If
nice.
somebody misses and a hit on me, I can basically immediately.
Yeah. Do you have the stand and shoot?
No, I dumped it
You
for
don't-
ambidextrous because I didn't want to take massive penalties.
Yeah.
Then I also got sweep, which allows me to like hit multiple targets, and
Mm-hmm.
and then double shot.
Ooh.
Double shot.
So the way double shot comes to us from the Suede Fantasy,
Oh, okay.
that book, and that is you get an extra shooting or athletics die once per turn.
Ooh.
Mm.
And
Wow.
we'll get to it later about her relationship with javelins.
Yes.
So there's a lot to say. So I guess that still leaves me with one additional edge. So that's 5 I just described. So I don't know if I could
Well,
Yeah.
humans get a 6th one because they're human.
Right.
So
That's
Mhm.
me.
we have. Oh yeah.
Oh,
that's
I
right.
did
you're
find Duelist. So Duelist Duelists apparently represent the pinnacle of elegant swordplay, and it allows me to it basically allows me to do 2 things. I can do a surgical strike, which I can do with a 1-hand piercing weapon, as long as it has a minimum strength of a d6 or less,
Mhm.
and I can add a +2 to my damage total. And the
Which
other
is a lot. A +2 in this game is like
that's a lot.
a lot.
Yes. The other thing I can do is parry.
Mm.
If the duelist hasn't acted this turn, I can declare the defend maneuver after my opponent declares a fighting attack, but before they roll.
Yeah.
And then I can discard my current action card, and my parry bonus is now a +6 instead of a +4 for that turn.
Yeah. That's
Wow.
Whoa.
that's like parry tanking right there. That's
Mm-hmm.
so freaking cool. And like just to me is so Céline.
I might have to move stuff around though, because the strength requirement is a d8, and she's only a d6 in strength.
Strength requirement for
Yeah. It's or it's
Parry?
not. Oh, sorry. I thought I saw strength. It's agility. I
Okay,
can't
there you
read. Never
I
mind.
was gonna say you might want to up your fighting by a die though.
Mm.
Yes.
Get that up to a D8.
All right, so we'll move that up to a d8.
I do have like a kind of house rule of like nothing above a D10 for starting, but like since this is kind of one and done,
Mm-hmm.
And we're
just like our Wednesday night game was one and done,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, our Wednesday game that's lasted
For
5
4
years.
years, yeah.
that one.
Yeah, one and done for your lifetime.
There's some jokes there, none of them appropriate. So I'll
Alright,
Text them to me later. So Connie,
Uh-huh.
what sort of edges does Connie have? And like powers, like what sort of magic do you do? Would we know?
Well, with the advent of there being
Getting more stuff.
more stuff.
And after like you're gonna get at least one more advance, so have a shopping list. Not like during the course of this
Yeah,
adventure.
not right now. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause when I decided to run this adventure, it was something that I'd written 6 or 7 years ago, and I was like, I'm just gonna like kind of like update some of the stuff and the things and like put it up on my website and like let people run it. And then as I started doing that, I started poking it and everything fell over, and I was just like, I can make this better, I can make that better, and so yeah, I'm completely rewriting it, and now I'm like, okay, well, you might get 2 advances through the course of this, I don't know, but at least one. Yeah.
wow.
I found the witch edge and added that. But I'm unsure if witch adds arcane background as a part of it or not, because if I don't have the arcane background edge, the powers tab on my little character sheet disappears. This might-
Uh-oh. What
which-
is that? Is that in the
Savaged.us. I clicked the Pathfinder.
Oh no, I'm the Pathfinder. Is that in Pathfinder?
I think so. It's in the Pathfinder Advanced Player's Guide,
Hmm.
Fancy companion. Oh man.
which
Doesn't like require you to take a weird edge?
I mean, arcane background was one that I was taking anyways, but I'm unsure because when I pick witch, it gives me, it's like you get a hex edge for free, and then it gives you arcane background options, and I'm just unsure if that is separate from actual arcane background, or in addition to arcane background, I have weird witch stuff.
Don't remember seeing which in this.
Oh, maybe then I am wrong, and I'll get rid of it.
What is it? But is it a skill? The spellcasting?
It's an edge. You take arcane background, and then you can choose a branch of like what kind of magic do you use. You use weird science, you use occult, you use miracles, you use magic, the classic,
The magic.
Classic magic.
classic TM.
Patent pending.
But other than the confusing magic stuff, I've got PowerPoints again, and charismatic.
Hey,
Hey.
Nice.
we love PowerPoints in this house.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
You can have all my power.
You know, as
There
I
is
learned.
in the In the fantasy companion, there is a warlock / witch. I'm not really sure what it means, but
It does a thing.
Cool.
Possibly with stuff.
Things, I guess.
yeah, I'm not sure what heading this is under. Like, I don't think they have like.
Control F.
That's how I found witch in the first place, and now I'm like, page up, page up. What are these? What am I looking for? Oh, these are just arcane backgrounds. Okay. Oops. 102, fantasy companion.
We have some edges, is what we're saying. We
Yeah,
have a bunch of them,
Yeah.
and we'll possibly have more when we actually start playing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That is also true.
We'll come back to that. Any signature gear that you want to tell everybody about? I know at least one person, Juno, who you can't miss their signature gear.
Right.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's her beloved giant slayer blade. She hasn't slain any giants yet, which is why she's so keen to slay one.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a giant great sword. She calls the chop. The chop.
Chop.
And but I think I haven't I think you threw out the possibility of us getting one cool thematic magic item.
Yes.
But I could come back to changing the greatsword, but so far I like that it's just this trusty greatsword that happens to be like surfboard size. Like it's a massive blade.
Amazing.
A crazy anime style.
Yeah.
giant
Totally,
gun.
yeah.
I'm
for
just
sure.
imagining Cloud Strife.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Buster
exactly.
sword.
Mm-hmm.
But then she's also into javelins. And that's the one I thought could be a fun magic gear.
Oh yeah.
So I found a magic javelin that gives you the option to it's just a regular javelin, but it gets the option of getting a +2 to shooting or +2 to agility.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice perk. So I picked the +2 to shooting. And this is her mom's special javelin.
Ooh.
One of her 3 moms. She's got 3 moms, and this one. So the thing is, though, she's got just the one javelin. So as soon as she throws it, she's like tunnel vision, zero focus, needs to get that javelin back.
I can't go back to mom's and tell them I don't have the
I
javelin.
can't lose that javelin.
Fetch.
So I part of her
Okay.
gear, I give her some rope. So maybe she ties it to the back of the javelin.
I'm
so
just
she-
imagining like us in the middle of a battle and like we're fighting and we just see you run by
Yeah,
to get your javelin and everyone's like, oh well, no, it's fine. She just has to get her javelin.
My
You
mom's
understand.
gonna kill me if I don't get the javelin.
Entire fight pauses. We
Yeah.
get javelin. Like we move on.
My javelin. I can't see with. I can't fight
can't
without
see
my javelin.
I lost my javelin. There was time now, but I don't have a javelin.
What about Céline?
Celine's signature gear happens to come from a friend. So she did a favor for a friend named Nick, who happens to be into weird science.
Oh yes.
So she has several perfumes that she made Nick make as payment for pretending to be his girlfriend in front of his rancid ex, who wasn't that pretty anyway. How she got that guy, we will never know. But whatever. Anyway, so she has certain perfumes that do certain things, which remain TBA because we have to discuss them.
Yes.
So that's it. But we'll get there. But yeah, so she has a set of special perfumes from
Anything
her
else
friend
like
Nick.
I know
Her giant trunk of all her dresses and clothes, since this is a road trip, that she has a lot of clothes.
yes.
And a lot of her clothes are especially made.
That's where I was
to be her skirts actually are rip away so that she can duel better.
Mm-hmm.
So you can skirt the law.
Yes.
We're gonna be carrying
you did
this
there.
chest
Uh-huh.
throughout the wilderness, aren't we?
I
You
don't
do,
do
Lee.
camping. I do glamping. What is
Yup.
wrong with you?
What is so hard to understand?
Gosh.
You get like a real mattress rolled up, just
Yes.
like carrying that. I'm not sleeping in a sleeping bag.
You think I'd
Can't
sleep on the
believe you paid
ground?
these poor townspeople that follow.
I have a 3-story pavilion.
Like,
It's just 4 peasants carrying an actual mattress.
Yeah.
They're in a full bed.
Or poster bed, like.
Four poster bed, yes. It's like,
What about
Well, Devlin has
Devlin.
a. We talked about an item for him that we were kind of talking about with some sort of like equivalent to like the old bracers of archery thing, like something that would like for his shooting that like because with shooting right now you can only explode the dice once, or you can explode it, but you only get an extra d6 once. And so we talked about what if there were bracers that allowed you if you got two
Multiple.
raises, it would just keep adding on dice. It may be way overpowered.
Yeah.
But he said okay, and I wrote it down.
I have it on record.
You already said yes.
I already have the stamp of approval. The thing I think for Devlin, though, that he treasures the most is the little medicine bag that his witch companion has given him that helps him control, let's say, his more bestial urges and the guy inside, because, he is really not happy with the wolf inside.
There's a market for bestial urges, I'm just saying.
All right.
You have to talk to the other guy.
Anyway,
Yeah, you don't want to get hounded.
I did want to also point out that Céline carries soap. Céline carries soap on her person
Sure.
in case her compatriots are rather stinky.
And now a flea collar.
What about Connie? What's her signature gear? Wand.
That wand that we
Mhm.
talked about,
The wand that you got from the last adventure. It was cool.
I stole off a dead guy.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
you guys
he's
killed him
okay.
real fast. I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know if I've made him tough enough. He didn't get a turn. So
He got to do like one thing, and then Connie came down the ladder and was like, "You stop that! Stop that right now!"
I don't think so.
I don't think so. That
Mm.
stop.
Thing you're doing here, let's just not do
It's
that.
not making the vibe really bad. I have not thought too much outside of that though, in terms of like magic items. So
Not even magic items,
or
just
just
like
like, oh, signature.
stuff that you carry that people would notice.
She's got like this. I've talked about it a little bit before stream, but like a pendulum, like a divination tool. She's got a lot of little divination tools on her. Tarot cards, mostly small things that she can carry with her wherever she goes, because that's part of the con for Connie is reading people's fortunes, maybe using
Just got con for Connie.
yeah.
I know why she has her name. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But she'll use it to sort of help grease the wheels and have someone spill their woes to her, and maybe she'll relieve them of their woes, which might be too much money.
Yeah. I can give you back problems.
Yeah. It weighs on your soul when you go to wherever people go after they die. So let me ease that weight off of you. Let you pass on in peace. Sis.
Nice. All right. So, couple of house rules. One is for bennies, you can use 2 bennies to give another player 1 benny, essentially. You spend 2 to let them reroll or soak damage. And then there's running in Savage Worlds, which is apparently one of the first things that people house rule. So usually you can run 6 inches on a grid. And to run, you declare that as your action. It's the only action you can take. And you roll a d6, and that's how far you move for your run. The house rule is you just double your running speed.
Okay.
Which I think feels a lot better. And unless you guys really like the idea of rolling the die.
Well, the great thing about Theater of the Mind is,
We're not doing Theater of the Mind. I got maps.
maybe you won't.
We got maps, and we are going to use them.
Yes, I've made maps specifically for this adventure. They'll be in the write-up. Okay, cool. So,
Okay, for the record, Devlin is like the lycanthropy I was talking about was probably a werewolf. Though I think if we end up doing a later nautical adventure, maybe he'll be reinfected by a were-crab.
yeah.
And that way,
You know, they have medicine for that.
Yes.
For,
hasn't worked.
yeah.
For were-crabs.
Yeah.
Why do you think I came to a witch?
Where crabs, they're crabs.
And get away from me. Hey.
All right, we're gonna start talking about connections
Yay.
and how everybody is. So,
Whoa. We're socializing? I'm not good at that.
Yeah.
Talking to
Interaction
people.
between characters. I know.
We're
It's
just-
new.
Ah! Excuse me while I panic.
Talk to people.
Yes.
I
So
didn't
we're
know
gonna
that was
do
part of
some
the game.
Decima, but first let's talk about the connections that everyone's already set up.
Mm.
Okay.
You two, I know you've
Yes.
been pulling jobs together.
Yeah.
Everybody has a connection to Connie.
Yeah.
It's like
I know.
Connie's the heart of
That's
our
right.
group.
I'm the main character. I'm kidding.
Connie and the gang.
So you get the plot armor edge, huh?
That's right.
No.
That's a good one. I should take that one. Plot
God.
It just
armor.
means all the bullets will be aimed at me specifically.
All according
That's
to
my kind of story
Keikaku.
where the
Oh.
main character dies.
Oh my gosh.
Beginning.
Our band should be called Connie and the Cons.
What a great band name. I love that.
Pretty good.
Yes.
We're all gonna become bards.
Right.
Yeah.
And you just turn, oops, all bards.
I'll bring my ukulele.
So we've got Juno.
Yeah, so Juno, we're kind of, John and I were kind of shooting some ideas around about orcish culture, some traditions, blah, blah. And I think there's this cool thing that's established in the world.
Mhm.
Oh,
I think Brian came up
Brian.
with this thing, which I thought
Kudos.
was great.
That like orcs have a huge respect and appreciation for the witches of the Midlands who kind of brokered this peace and kind of created these protected states for them to live in within the Midlands. So
And
I
they're
was,
also like, they kind of run the joint without being in charge of the joint.
Mm,
They are wise folks. People come to them. They are like every chancellor has a witch advisor.
They're all afraid of Baba Yaga, but that's fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't be?
Yeah,
Right. That's
right.
what I said. Who wouldn't be? The
Like-
house has chicken legs.
You don't mess
How'd
with
you do that?
you don't mess with grandmother.
Yeah.
No, she
So-
knows everything.
And I just think it's like that's such a cool setup, and like you mentioned, they like oversee crops and stuff like that. Like they just like think
Yeah,
of
they
a
go from town to
function.
town and they
Yeah.
heal the sick and they like make sure the crops are growing well and they fight off corruption,
Take your money.
chaos corruption, magic
Yeah.
corruption. That's what,
It's
yeah, and then and then there's Connie
That stuff.
and
Hey, to which his own. Am I right?
Yeah.
Oh, there's going to be competition now.
It's not competition. It's cooperation.
That's
Right, right.
We just need some popcorn.
They're just exactly, man. I'll bring that next time.
Yeah.
So I just thought it could be neat if, like, within the Orcish culture, it's like in the military brigade, you're like between tours, between battles, and you're like maybe there's these different tasks or missions you're assigned to, and maybe one of the things they can assign you to is like to make you a champion to a local witch. And maybe somebody's just like a Rolodex of like, Connie's been without a champion. Somebody should be, kind of accompany her.
Yeah.
And the idea is the champion's like part bodyguard, part personal assistant, but also like someone who's meant to be almost like a pupil of the witch to like learn and gather like the lore of the witches, so as to like continue to preserve the history, the traditions, and all these things that the orcs like just find so precious about witches.
I'm just imagining you showing up at like our underground bar, like, and we're like, "Excuse what?"
Hi, yeah,
What?
I'm yours.
yeah, I'm here for the interview.
There
Walks
was.
in,
Okay.
woman's all
Resume.
hungover and just like pulls out this giant sword and like, oh no, and then goes down on one knee and says, pledge myself and my fealty to
My
you.
liege, do you like my liege? Your Eminence.
I'd like you to stop talking so loud.
Yes.
I'm just
That's a bit
picturing the
cool.
witch council and they're going, well, Connie doesn't have a witch. I'm like, well, yeah, you don't happen to the last one. Well, yeah, okay. But she needs a champion. Yeah. How many has she had? Okay, well, still, it's
Well, I also imagine it like the ones who get assigned a champion are usually like these highfalutin, like
Mhm.
big timers. And like, so for Connie to get one, I imagine you would have to have something to do with that. Like you witnessed Connie maybe doing something and were like,
May I make a suggestion?
Yes.
What if it's a case of mistaken identity,
That's
which would
great.
be very fitting for Connie?
Does Connie have siblings? Maybe we're supposed to go to one of them.
Connie does have a sister, Hester, who's also
A
witch.
witch.
Uh-huh.
It's supposed to be for her.
That's great.
Many years ago, you saw someone that you think is named Connie who was a witch do something. You're like, ew. I'll find you later.
I love that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Or it's possible I've also like, and then has heard all of the great deeds of this Connie.
Yeah.
Or, you know, maybe it was somebody else.
Deeds.
Yeah.
Or they told you the name, but you've forgotten it now
Mhm.
since
Yeah.
you left. You know,
You just-
That's right. Yeah.
Pretty sure it was that one.
I wonder if that was Brianna that did that. Who? No, it's you. I'm like, okay.
We sing tales of your great deeds, or oh wise.
That's right.
I want to say.
Connie.
Yeah.
Connie. Please don't take my
Sounds
man.
Like, yeah, right.
So yeah, what do you think?
Yes, I'm 100%. I think that's so funny. Also to be like mistaken identity of
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm here for you. It's like, yeah, you are.
Like,
You.
immediately weighs the pros and cons and goes,
Yes, you are here for me.
now hold these.
Yeah.
Celine's just sipping, like, tea in the background, like,
Just like Connie
What is
looking at
happening?
like Céline like,
so
Uh,
how are you?
oh, yes. Céline and Connie are pretty much, I mean, we've been in the same group for a while. I would like to believe that we're besties, but that's, especially because we scam together.
Mhm.
You know, birds who scam together stay together.
yeah,
Mhm.
So,
scam together, scram together.
yeah.
Nice.
So that's kind of what I think. And I mean, because I guess the question really would be like, how did we end up separating from the rest of our group?
Maybe we're doing.
They're dead.
No.
Would it be more? Would it be
Give me
more
a very
character?
different
Actually do that. I wouldn't do that.
Nick.
Would it be more in character if Connie like sold them or something?
Hey! Still got a heart of gold here.
Celine
It's a
would
real good
100%
price.
buy you.
I wonder, maybe if we're doing something like we're for Nick, maybe there's something in Heinz like, I need this thing. I need you to go get this thing. It's like,
It's
I
gonna take
guess-
a little more than that for sleep.
yeah,
But it's
or it's something.
maybe we could be doing something for them, yeah. Because I like our group was very tight knit, so there has to, I think, for us to leave them, it would have to be a really good reason. So maybe
Maybe we have to split town after our shenaniganery. When we caught some bad eyes.
no. I know the remember when I was when
And you
I
can always
burst
keep it
into
as a
tears
secret.
Yeah.
that one time.
Uh-huh.
I have a feeling that person didn't like being accused of being abusive. So, you know who I'm talking about.
Sure.
Yeah, and I have to leave town for a little while.
Yeah. We gotta scamper.
Yes, we got to scamper, and then maybe we're gonna get some stuff on the way.
Yeah.
for-
Yeah. It's
But
like,
also, like, if you are headed to High Keep and it's about to be winter,
Mm.
like, nowhere better to winter than, like, on the Valenti coast.
Right.
it's a vacation.
For some,
For most people. Maybe Ghislaine.
yeah.
Or Alusia, I
Yeah,
hear, is
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
They've got great horses.
We can workshop it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like Nick's like, if you're going there anyways, like pull out like a long piece of paper. It's like, can you pick these up? I need these ingredients for these.
Maybe you're
stuffs."
meeting them in
Yeah,
hiking.
long list.
Oh.
We could also be meeting them in high.
We could be meeting them at hiking.
What if we pulled an Italian job and now we gotta leave town?
I'm unfamiliar with the Italian. job.
They basically did a big job, but like now instead of not
Crime.
getting caught, they got
Big
caught.
crimes.
Crime.
Big
Yeah.
crime. Big
Crime.
Yes, be gay, do crime.
Be
That was
gay,
the
do
motto.
crime.
So, but yeah, so maybe that's what we did, and we have to like kind of skip town for a little while till
Mhm.
things kind of cool off.
Mm.
Yeah, just a loose idea.
I like that.
Mhm.
This sounds fun.
Okay, so here's the thing. Devlin doesn't really want to go to High Keep because there was an incident. But he came to the Midlands to try to find a cure for this whole lycanthropy thing.
Mhm.
And the witches that tried to heal him, it didn't work. And then they were going to like lock him up, so he ran again. And he eventually found a witch that could do it, and it was Connie, who might have been drunk at the time.
Yay!
Like, that thing
Yeah.
works.
Take this.
Yeah, just wear this thing around your neck. I don't know what it is. I found it on the floor.
Yeah. You got
It's my mom's. I don't know.
So that was my thought. Like, if you're up to it, like that, like the only person who would give him any kind of help was Connie, and it doesn't really cure him. It just sort of lets him keep a little bit more in control.
Mm.
Yeah. I think that sounds fun.
I love it.
We're all looking back at me every single time. know your
The other
opinion.
thing I was thinking, because the what I wanted to play with Devlin was this idea of like two people in one body, because like the wolf is basically like another person, a different person with a
Ooh,
different
okay.
personality.
Okay.
But I thought it might be funny or cool if people liked the wolf more than they liked Devlin.
Oh my god! Yeah,
Right.
you show up to a party and they're like, "Oh,
What about the other guy?
I need the other guy.
It's like in Turning Red when she shows
Yes.
up and she's like, "I'm the panda." They're like, "You're wearing a cardboard suit." She's like, "Come on."
Yes. Oh.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know how we'd play that exactly, or if it would be everybody, or just because if it's everybody, then Devlin's like real sad panda. But you know, I don't know if it's everybody or just some people. But I thought that'd be a fun. That's what I'm going to play with, and I don't even know if Devlin's going to get to the end and work it out with himself, or if you know. But I think that's the reason that he couldn't get it. Wouldn't the curing didn't work was because like there's a part of him that wants it, and there's part of him that doesn't want to be fixed.
I will say this: you are not the only person that does not want to go to high keep.
See, right?
Yes, exactly. Céline does
not all
not.
that.
Also, is not. She's not going because she wants to.
You murdered a bunch of people too.
No.
You also have lycanthropy.
I'm not alone.
We should really come up with like the solid reason why you guys are. I don't want to say fleeing Mornhaven
have
to
one.
High Keep.
Walking.
Huh?
Well, I have one for her not wanting to go to high keep. I have a reason. So, but
But like the reason that you are going to High Keep because
Oh,
you
yeah, I
could go
need a
the other
really
way
good
and just
reason
head
to go to
into
High Keep.
Imperia.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Huh.
Talk about fussy.
Mhm. A lot of rules. I'm not
Mm.
about that.
Clerics. A lot of paladins and clerics. Real big on that.
Well, I mean, for me, reason going to hike. I mean, this might be a cop out, but it's like, well, he's gone. I guess I'm tagging along. you know?
exactly.
Can you give us a little bit of a breakdown of High Keep itself, just to have a refresher?
Yes. So High Keep is kind of like the pinnacle of society. It is, you know, Rome in the Renaissance, right? Or Italy in the Renaissance. There are the best fashions, the best technology, the newest fencing schools. There's
Seems to be hitting a lot of
Sitting here like, oh, the Labatons.
fashion,
The Labaton flagship
swords.
store.
perfumes.
Okay.
Yeah.
John,
Shoes.
but how is their matcha game?
How's their matcha game?
know.
On matcha, just
Like, are they?
Here's the thing about High Keep.
it's teep top.
Is that everybody goes through there.
Nice.
So they have exotic wares from all over that you can pick up. So there's bound to be somebody in town with a killer matcha store.
Heck yeah. Okay.
And maybe the only place that I can really get a cure, but I don't really want to go there. Either that or go to Baba Yaga, but I mean, that seems
Or
dicey.
like maybe you have to find the remains of, or the person who bit you.
Maybe
And that's the only way to get a
yeah.
real true.
like how basilisks in like D&D,
Yes.
like you need parts of
the
a
original.
basilisk to in
Yeah.
order to like
To-
cure that. So like
yeah.
you really need to. We need to find who did.
We
That's
need to find who
fun.
bit you. We need to find.
Mhm.
We need
Yeah.
to get some real hair of the dog
Shyston
for
and
you.
Yeah, it's real hair of the dog.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's right.
Sarah the dog.
And
It's a real bad hangover.
maybe I brew that tea.
That's right. I need the curative tea.
I was gonna say there could be a reason, but I'd like to whisper it to you because I don't want to share it with people.
If you want to whisper it to me, I can whisper it to him like a telephone.
That's
No.
not how.
Oh, that's not how that works.
Or you could just send me.
I could. Yeah, that was pretty much what I was
Yeah.
gonna do. I could do it in real time.
Well,
so.
let's figure out what you all think of each other. Who wants to play some Decima? All right.
Oh, you mean
Wow, I wonder.
any award-winning Decima?
Any award-winning Decima?
Any award
Gold
winner.
any
Any
award.
Gold.
Any
In fact, it
award.
was a gold any that was won.
Wow.
Ooh.
I wonder who made it. That person must be really cool.
Must be.
Yeah, they
Like
gotta
so
be.
rad.
Honestly, I
That's
think they
right.
should make their own like in-game studio. That'd be really
Right.
cool.
I could totally play on that.
Yeah.
That channel.
Yeah.
Same.
Pick a card, then I could.
Any guy.
This is very cool. All right. Yeah, this one feels good.
All right. Who wants to go first?
And facing matters. So we
Yeah, facing matters.
Okay,
Facing
okay.
matters.
Wheel and
spin
woe.
around.
Mixed results. Great. I rolled a 7.
Yeah.
And you can
Try again later.
If you don't like it, you can discard it. So
Okay.
you're not.
I almost read mine upside down. Like, wait, why does this? Oh.
Who wants to go first?
So when you say orientation matters, because I've got two questions. I've got one top and bottom. So the way I grabbed it is the way I'm supposed to?
You
Or-
can flip it. And,
Let me read.
Wait, can we ask one or can we ask both?
I mean, you can.
I'd like a new one.
Because there's one that I'm like, oh, that makes total sense. But
Darby, do you read tarot?
No.
Because
This-
I do tarot, and that is a big thing of like which way
Yeah,
you
which way.
drew,
Yeah,
which way
Yeah.
that
they
I
say.
know is true. So that's what I was like.
Yeah.
At my birthday last year, my sister brought her friend who did tarot readings, and it's the most abusive tarot I've
Oh
ever seen.
god, they could get a little.
No, not that one.
It was terrible.
Here's the problem with this one card. I think the answer to this question is me.
What?
Because it says, you think blank will cut and run if things get risky. That's me.
no, I'm describing
Well,
myself.
Yeah. Huh, I'm
It's
connected
me.
to me.
I'm the
Pick another
problem.
one.
It's me.
There's a lot of these things.
Oh, I ended up with 2, but it's okay. I'll have a backup.
Figure out which ones you like.
I
I
might
have
also
one that I
try
like on this
more.
I
card.
like that one.
I'll
Yeah.
try
But maybe this
India.
one's better. Let's see.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Or
I feel like
Yeah,
this
the other
one,
that one was better.
this one's more intimidating
Yeah.
because that doesn't match your personality. I think.
yeah. The
I-
addiction I see in the wolves. I think I like this one better.
Oh, the
Yeah.
questions are tied with the meanings of the cards,
Mm.
so orientation matters.
Mhm.
Okie dokie.
Thank you, disembodied voice.
From
Spectral Kimmy.
yes, anyway.
Spectral Kimmy.
Who wants to
I
go
need
first
that
with your
to be
connection?
point redeemed.
Dink.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
sorry, brain.
It's obvious that blank is dealing with something serious, and you can relate. I think
Who?
Devlin is that person that Connie can relate to.
Okay.
Mhm.
You know,
Mm.
I don't know if you have any like trauma or anything in your backstory. I don't know, murdering people just seems
Who
like
has
most casual.
trauma?
Who's trauma? If you don't have any, store bought is fine.
I mean, yeah.
If alone.
It's really trendy these days.
Yeah.
So he leaves with an option to buy.
Was it Julia Childs who said that, or was it someone else? Store bought is fine.
It sounds like Julia Child.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're
I'm
done.
gonna say yes.
Fred have to just pour the wine and drink.
Pull the wine.
Pour the wine.
Cool one. Yep. But yes, Devlin is that person
Okay.
for para me.
And how has that informed your actions with him?
I think maybe when Connie first met Devlin, it was kind of like, okay, you're like here, and I'm very, you're in the way. I like take this, but learning more about Devlin is, she's kind of abrasive, kind of aloof most of the times when it comes to people, and I wonder if it's given her like a level of more softness and care when it comes to interacting with Devlin.
He is kind of pathetic. I mean, I should say that like the way I was planning on playing him was that his confidence is a little shattered because of this whole like turning into a wolf and killing a bunch of people thing, and so he's cautious and like trying to be really organized, and mainly it's just to keep everything like bottled up. And the wolf is none of those things.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I think Connie, she's a sassy, back-talking person. She will back-talk anybody. It does not matter. But maybe with Devlin,
Okay,
more
yeah, I like that.
less back-talking is more like, okay, Sass needs to take a backseat to actually helping somebody who is genuinely trying to seek some help.
Okay,
I love
okay.
that. I love it. That's great.
Sweet.
Benny's all around.
Well, so I've got one. Blank makes you wonder what life would be like if you had chosen a different path.
Ooh. That's a
And
good
then
one.
a follow-up the question there is, what do you regret?
Oh.
So this is it's kind of an interesting one because I at first I thought because there would be some kind of like, oh my gosh, you must be really cool and like come on to learn. But I feel like there's something about like a witch being almost like a little too out of league to even think about what life would be like. But I think Juno might be looking at Céline and is like, you're fashion, you're like a woman of society, you're sort of like really kind of has like an ease and grace moving among people. And I feel like there could be a certain like question to Juno being like, what have I missed out on? I think, and I don't know. This is, I guess, kind of an interesting. Also, think about in terms of how gender shows up in this world. You know,
Mhm.
if there's some sort of like ladylike thing, and
Yeah.
you know, I feel like Juno's traditionally not quote unquote ladylike.
Or feminine.
Yeah, but
What would be defined as feminine by society, I guess we could go.
right. I feel like yeah. So I think like that's what it is. I think it's Juno kind of thinking about like does she fit into the best version of herself? But when she meets somebody like you, and I feel like I wonder if that kind of gives her a little like pause. It's like, oh yeah. So I think maybe some of the regrets are maybe not because there's some other stuff that she's kind of dealing with in terms of like being part of the military and not really questioning what the military's doing and why are we fighting these wars again? There's another one. And, I gotta go. There's a
Yeah.
war.
Another one.
You
There's
know,
a war at
kind of like
10, I
not
gotta
questioning
go.
like why do we keep doing these things? So I feel like that kind of falls into like, oh, there might have been so much I missed out on life.
Because
Do you
Juno is not young,
No, I mean,
but you know.
yeah, I really don't. You know, I just wanted to play a character that's like in her, who's like seasoned. You know, she's in her. We're all seasoned. You know, but she's maybe in her mid-30s. But if somebody's who's been at war for the last 20+ years,
Mhm.
you know,
So you
she's
feel
seen.
older than you are.
Yeah, she's seen a lot, but it's also a lot of the same things.
It's not the
I was
years, it's the
gonna say,
mileage.
interesting
Yeah.
because in contrast to Juno,
Yeah.
Céline is very femme. She is very into what is like those things like dresses and makeup and perfumes and things like that. And she very much always errs on the side of lover, not fighter, despite the fact that she is a very capable fighter.
Mhm.
So her whole thing is make love, not war. That way.
We're all involved.
Uh-huh.
Make love during war.
Well, that just adds spice.
I mean, could there be also an element that like seeing you being so comfortable in your femininity and also in this identity as like a lover, not a fighter? Like, could there be an element of Juno sort of being like, never really had a steady relationship. Like, I don't actually know if I don't like for a while. I just hadn't really considered where intimacy is in my life, and like, there's a sort of element of like trying to understand.
What that means.
Yeah, like.
Interesting.
Like I feel like Juno's like never thought of like settling down or like finding a partner, you know. So it's like kind of interesting to maybe meet someone who's maybe more in that sort of, I don't know, mental space of like kind of seeing those kind of connections
Relationships,
between
connections,
people. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Juno's very focused on one thing and seeing Céline focusing on something else. It's like, oh, there are things outside
A
of.
plethora.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like-
Especially if they're doing the same, like they're both adventuring, but it's like Celine's like has these other things that she could focus on, and Juno could be like, wait, I can do more than just the one
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
It's like, why did my culture tell me just to do this one thing? Okay, neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I love that.
Okay.
Hey.
Rad.
It's my turn.
Mhm.
All right. You found out about Blank's dubious past. How did you find out? And I immediately thought of you, Devlin, for
Dubious
this.
past.
Yeah. But because of what you said
Yeah.
about
That's true.
what happened to your battalion, and since we're both from High Keep, it would also make sense for
Yeah,
her,
that's
to have discrete knowledge of this somehow. The follow-up question is, how did you find out? And I think this has to do with Celine's past.
Oh, okay.
I guess I can reveal a little bit, but
Or you could just tell him later if you
I
want.
could. I
Yeah,
could
you
tell you
could.
later
Yeah.
why she knows, so that I don't have to reveal it to the table. Because that's
Mhm.
something else I'm kind of hesitant to reveal to the table right now. But let's just say she has her methods.
Okay.
So, and she found out about what happened with your battalion, and
So since I've never really kept, Brian, has never really kept it a secret, would Céline have then told Connie immediately what it was? And then it then passed on to Juno. By the time Devlin found out about it, he's like, oh, everybody knows. Okay.
he's like, "Well, what the hell?"
Yeah.
That was my secret to tell.
Well, because I don't know that he's kept it a secret exactly, because I think he's a little too shell shocked. I mean, he doesn't like, hey, guess what? I killed a bunch of people. No, but I don't think he.
Hi, my name's Devlin, and I've killed 6
Right, it's not like he
people.
announces it or anything. But
Hi, Devlin.
I
But-
killed a platoon.
Well, I killed a platoon. What?
I guess my question to you would be is like you don't broadcast it, but is it something that you're trying to run away from, or just pretend like are you pretending it never happened? Like what's your
No, I think it's more that well, he definitely ran away because they were gonna kill him. And I think that in his heart of hearts, like when he approached Connie to get the cure, I think there was this thought like, oh, I'll get the cure, then I can go back and I can go back and they'll forgive me, and I can go back and become a musketeer again. But and maybe in that sort of realm, he would have said, oh yeah, when you get me this cure, then I can go back. I this is what happened. And he would have told Connie the whole story, like this is what happened. Because I mean, how do you go to someone and say, oh, I have lycanthropy, but I certainly haven't done anything with it. I mean, like that just seems real
Nothing
sus.
wrong happened.
Nothing
I would
bad,
like it.
But
What
yeah, I think he thinks that it'll all like if he could just be cured, it will all blow over. But that's at the wolf doesn't want to change. He's clearly.
maybe what if you gave her like the general details, but I know
You
like
knew all the-
detailed
yeah, you know the
details.
detailed
Like I
details.
knew who you killed, why you killed them, what impact that had.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe you
Instead of just-
heard Devlin
Yeah.
praying.
Yeah, I could have also heard you praying.
Or
Yeah.
even if, because you ran,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I wonder maybe if Céline knows things that you don't even
Right, yeah,
know.
that's what. Yeah, I was just
That's
thinking
like-
that. Yeah.
Interesting.
The
Yeah.
impact of,
Yeah.
Oh,
like, the
yeah.
actual impact. Because you
Yeah.
assume, like,
No one lived.
yeah, no
Yeah,
one lived,
lived.
and, that you're wanted and all these things.
Mhm.
And maybe that still
That's
is
something.
true, but
Yeah.
the Céline knows exactly the details and how much they're marshaling.
And maybe you haven't
Yeah.
told me.
No, I haven't
Yeah.
told you anything, but I also think that I wouldn't have told anyone else anything
Okay.
either. But I do think it would make me judge you, like in a way that Connie wouldn't. Like where Connie is like warm and affable and like tries to be nice to you. I'm not gonna say she's gonna go full on bitch, but
It's a
she is gonna be a
Like
little
there's some
like
distance.
there's some
yeah.
distance there. She's
I love
not
it,
your
love it.
bestie.
Which
It's like
which is great because it totally plays into what my card says.
'cause
Oh,
pretty much,
perfect.
it's gonna be like the only reason you're still here is because Connie likes you. That is it. You're lucky. Like,
That'd be a fun flashback of
Yeah.
like us discussing, like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Connie's like, no, I think he needs to come with us, and the two of us maybe
That
going
is
back
a
and
great
forth.
one.
About
Write
about
that
like
down, yeah.
whether
Yeah.
or not he should come along.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Celine's the one that likes the wolf.
I
I
was kind of thinking Céline might like the wolf.
don't know what you're talking about. She doesn't have a thing.
No, no.
Oh.
Whoa. Okay, that went to a weird dark place. I was just thinking like you kind of liked him like as a person.
Yeah,
as a
but
person,
neither
yes.
do I.
Of course. That's what
Did
we
you
meant.
look at Angus' face when he said that? Anyway.
I've seen that face before. Anyway,
Moving on.
What does your card say, Brian?
so my card said, you are envious of blank success and have trouble hiding it. Why aren't you as successful? But I was thinking instead of like success, I think Devlin is deeply envious of Celine's confidence because it's something
Yeah.
he severely lacks right now. And he doesn't understand. I mean, I think he does understand, but he doesn't really get like why, what happened to his confidence because he used to be confident, and it's like it's that whole sort of trauma, and you don't really understand what's happened to you.
Is it like a Tony Stark and like Bruce Banner conversation? Like the
Yeah, a little,
Oh,
yeah, a little
yeah.
bit, yeah,
That conversation, like you got to strut.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, but yeah, I mean, I was gonna play Devlin very sort of nervous and well, as long as you think that's fine, I think it's yeah. But I think I think he thinks that he's really envious of like how confident and put together Céline is, not just fashion, but like,
In
but
general.
that's great too. I mean,
Awesome. Some great.
Damn, Devlin is so tortured. That whole thing that you guys were talking about, like the Devlin's like, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be. I'm gonna go back right to my regular life. It's like, oh, buddy.
yeah, I know.
There's no
The
going
denial
back.
phase.
The
Hardcore.
denial phase.
That's gonna be so much fun to
freaking
play.
lately. Oh my gosh.
All right. Your connection. That's what I want to know next.
Need
Okay.
more cards? Need
Okay.
to pull more cards?
Okay.
Should we-
Well, I had a thought.
Yeah.
Well, because we both come from a military background, so maybe there's some sort of bonding along those lines. But maybe it shouldn't be a kumbaya moment with that, like, because that's not as fun to play as a something more awful.
Well, if I may, the
Oh,
flip side of this one.
Okay.
Well, I mean, this doesn't quite fit, but it sort of fits. I think what maybe you're suggesting. But this question is: blank hurt you,
Oh.
but you didn't tell them. Why did they do, and why don't you say anything?
And that's actually funny because there was a different card that John handed me 2 cards by accident. One of them said, "You and blank had an epic failure. Like we did something and it really went wrong."
Really bad training exercise.
Well, we wouldn't necessarily train together, but maybe there was something in like after, like, because we haven't just met, but I know it's
Yeah,
like
but
soon. But like maybe it had something to do with also the change of the wolf thing, and
Yep.
like there was something we were supposed to do, and it went bad because of me.
What if there was whatever this job, mission, whatever it was?
Because if you two are hanging around these two are criminals.
Me?
And somebody who got like
They're wanted.
wrapped up in something.
No.
For them
She
or
can't-
with them?
She can't be a criminal. Look how well she's dressed.
Criminals are such a harsh word.
We don't like to use that word around here.
We disagree with the law. How about
Right.
Yeah. We have
Different interpretation.
Independent
Yeah.
actors.
Yeah.
Well-
really the law's guidelines.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
The law is
It's a
poetry.
blueprint.
It's up for interpretation.
So what if it was like there was some mission or something that happened between Devlin and Juno, that Juno and Devlin were involved in,
Yeah.
and something set off Devlin, and Devlin turned into the wolf, but Juno hadn't known that this.
Oh
was the
yeah.
wolf.
Okay.
And then the wolf, and maybe Juno didn't even see the transformation. The wolf attacked her. She fought him off. Blah 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 something, and then later on, through maybe these two realized, oh shit, the wolf was Devlin, and it's actually something he's extremely embarrassed and like ashamed of, and so he didn't mean to attack me, but I did feel really scared for my life or whatever, and so it's like a thing where I do have like a resentment towards you for not warning me ahead of time. Hey, listen, before we get on this job, I might like flip out. So you knew that you were.
Small chance I could.
Because the wolf, unless it's like the full moon, the wolf is like in control. But he might have looked at Juno and been like, "I could take her."
No.
Yeah. So it's like, so I think there may be an element of that. That was just very responsible for us to go on this mission, for you not to let me know that you've got this, sensitivity to moonlight. And maybe,
More of an allergy.
and then maybe if I find out at some point that you were like, I just wasn't really afraid about what would happen, that would really feel like. So that could be something
Yeah.
that could be happening.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
future.
yeah.
But
And like
think-
but I don't know somehow. Like I didn't know that after the change happened that the wolf went after you. I just think that the wolf, like, maybe I blame myself for the job going bad, but I didn't realize that you had gotten hurt.
That's interesting. So that's what
Trying to,
makes
like-
me not trust you as much.
Yeah, and maybe or just the resentment thing. Like it hasn't come to a head yet, and that would be something that we could play out in the game. That
Yeah.
like there could be a moment of like
I like that. You don't know that you actually hurt
Yeah.
me. And
How does lycanthropy work in this world? Is it
I don't
like
know. How's lycanthropy work in this world, everybody?
Well, I've done recently. You might not believe this, but I've done some research.
all right.
It was not reading Twilight.
No. They don't sparkle or smell like cupcake. Now, but in the book, it talks about, there is a sidebar about the curse of lycanthropy and what it means. And it basically talks about like that once you get to the point where when you're infected, there's a part where you're kind of all going wild, but there's a point at which you have to roll dice and you can gain control of it. You're still a werewolf, and when it's a full moon, that's when you completely lose control. But before that, you're in control. Like you can change shape, and it's still you. I'm playing it off that the wolf is a different person, so when he changes, the wolf is in charge. But like the wolf is like wouldn't hurt his friends, and wolf would still like do the mission or whatever we're doing, unless it's the full moon, in which case all bets are off, and who knows. Then it's like a murderous,
Beast.
claw beast.
Come on.
That's
beast.
rad.
okay?
Oh, Connie's
Oh,
thinking.
a
Oh, no.
evil idea has occurred.
Yes.
I just
Light
just
bulb.
given witch stuff, just thinking about how to interact with that, right? Like
Yeah.
because witches are like a lot of healing
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. How do you heal something that's not? It's not like just a curse, but it's also like almost like a different
Yeah.
person. Do I have a right to cure such a thing?
Right, and maybe you could have cured him, and you've given him this like placebo thing, being like, no, this we'll work on this, and it's
Yeah.
like,
This is more of a you have to work, you have to live together now.
you gotta figure it out.
This is your friendship shirt. You're putting it on and spending time together.
May I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
What if what ultimately breaks the curse is you reconciling with yourself?
Well, that's what I was wondering. I was wondering, like, at a certain point, either he has to come to terms with this other side of himself and become, like, one person, or he has to, like, really pull the plug on it. But right now, it's sort of floating in the middle. Because is it two people, or is it just two different sides of him? He doesn't even know.
Yeah, is it like a Jekyll and Hyde thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know.
He certainly thinks of it right now as a different person, and I may be playing it, in fact, as a different person.
Yay. So, interesting.
What up, bro?
Yo, Wolf here.
The wolf is like, nuts for everybody!
Oh my god.
Rap bro wolf.
Everyone's
God.
dancing on
Bro.
tables.
Let's do some more Decima. This is fun.
Yay!
Yeah.
Decima.
yeah.
Hey.
Pick another card.
Reach. Oh, I got 2 by accident. Does that mean
double.
I'm extra special?
Yeah, it does. You know, you have 4 options.
Double special.
Ooh.
Okay, let's see. Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh, that one was hiding.
That's a
that
good one.
Appropriately, there's a handsome man on this one.
Oh. Is it talking about me?
No.
Oh.
It's obviously
Yeah.
talking about Darby. Hello.
Oh. 100%. How could I have been so naive? All right.
Let's see. Ooh. Ooh.
I like both of these in different
Kinda.
ways.
Oh,
Oh.
these are good ones. See the other one that I drew. Oh, this is a pretty lady with a cup. That's it. This is an all gender house. Great. I mean, Céline does not pick favorites, so it's fine.
Just like me.
Ooh, pretty cool.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Ooh. Okay.
I might have something here.
All right.
Well, before you jump into that, though, I have a thought.
Oh, was that
Something
right?
that Darby was saying a second ago.
A single thought.
Well, just one.
Just the one.
It's a one-word
It's my last
hard
one.
part.
Mhm. All right, and Steen, and we're done.
And that's it.
No
yeah.
more thoughts ever.
No, I was thinking, like, you know, if Connie knows that, like, what Devlin really should be doing is, like, kind of bringing these two sides together, maybe, like, she's decided that, or they've decided that this is what he should, like, but knows that they just say it to him. It's not going to mean anything.
Yeah.
But it, like, it feels like I have to, like, coax him into it.
Yeah. Like I'm leading
Kind of
you,
massage.
Yes.
leading the horse to water,
Right.
so that the horse wants to drink,
Right.
and doesn't seem like I forced your head down into it.
Yeah, because it's like you got to get Devlin to, like, accept it, which is the hard part, because
Yeah.
guilt and trauma and all that other
That
stuff.
maybe
Guilt
like,
and
oh, this
trauma.
cute. It'd be interesting
Did
if
someone
Connie
say guilt and trauma?
in
Question
my
about that.
TTRPG.
The question, though, is, like, and this maybe sounds wrong, but why would she do that? Like what would she do? Is Connie the type of person that would do that because there's something in it for Connie? Or sees, like, an advantage? But you don't have to tell me what it is. But I just wonder, like, what's the thought here?
I think Connie has a
thing.
reason.
Okay.
I
Love
almost wonder if Connie, in the way that, like, you have to accept this part of you now. I wonder if other witches. It's not that they didn't have a cure. It's not that they didn't help you. It's that they all told you the same
Right,
thing.
yeah, just
There
that.
is no cure, and that you have to learn to live with this part of yourself now.
Right,
And I
that's
wonder,
not the thing.
And I wonder if Connie's the only one who was like, yeah, I can cure you. Whether or not is trying to, like, lead you, and it's like seeing, like, you're not
Yeah.
accepting.
Oh, no, it's
the
totally
real-
curable as long as you don't feed on anyone.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, I'm Dumbo. I'm Dumbo, and you're Jiminy Cricketing me with a magic
Yeah.
feather.
Yeah. And just being like, giving you something that does
Yeah.
help you calm. I think if you've ever watched Owl House, there's a really interesting moment with, like, Edelyn and the owl beast that lives
Yeah,
with
yeah.
her, where she, like, she's like, we're stuck together now. Like, we are one, and we're not one and the same, but we have to live together. And the potion is not a way to make you quiet. It's a way that we are able to talk to each other. And I wonder if what Connie has given you is not like a cure, but it's like saying, like, oh, this will lead to a cure, this will lead to a cure, but more like a trying to help you to talk to.
Well, maybe that's
That's the hex bag.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe the hex bag is actually,
Yeah.
like, without it, like, you'd never even hear with the wolf. But
Mhm.
now, because I was telling John that I think there's times where, like, even if he's not changed, there's gonna be times where the wolf is stepping to the front and he's gonna be
Okay.
talking to people.
Okay.
But maybe that's the bag that's letting him do that, and
Yeah.
that's with it's that. And the whole thing is kind of going, okay, these two have to talk to each other and like work this out because
Oh, that's so cool.
Maybe? Is
Yeah,
that-
I like people.
totally, yeah, totally.
Decima. Golden Emmy Award.
Golden Emmy Award
I'm just
winning.
imagining like the conversations Céline and Connie are having about these people before they even join up. Like, what are we even doing? Like this ragtag
How
group.
did these people?
Like, how do we even find these people?
We've you know that it's like, you're my friend now. We're getting soft tacos later. Like, you're coming with me now.
Imagine Connie turning to Céline and going, well, you wanted a dog? Well, not like this.
This is not what I meant.
I meant like a little dog that I could hold.
Like that could fit in my purse.
I mean, if you had a big purse, I'm sure that Devlin could fit into
Someone
it.
who could, distract
body
people.
Well, nothing says distraction like werewolf.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Both of mine were good, so
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna ask both.
All right, do it.
Let's see. So I feel like this one, you suspect that blank has strong feelings for or about you, but they haven't said anything.
Oh.
And I feel like that goes back to like Juno, but not necessarily, we're not talking romance or anything like that. We're talking about like, she kind of gets the fact that you're like, you have some strong sentiments towards her, and she's not 100% sure why. Like, she doesn't get why you, like, where this is coming from or what she's done. But I think she's interpreting this as you don't like her. Like,
That's
you
great.
do not like her, and
Interesting.
she does not. Once again, she's like, "What has Connie done? Why am I in a room? Why am I in a room with these people?" and it's very like, she's not gonna be mean to you or anything, but she is gonna like not go out of her way to like do anything that she thinks is gonna piss you off. She's just gonna be like, she might actually, in a position to Devlin, who she's judging like a cat. She'd probably be like exceptionally polite to you. It almost like the way almost bordering on the way she treats her clients, although with her clients she's a little saucier because her clients are coming in with an expectation. But it's almost like the very polite, are you okay? Can I get you a drink? Like that kind of polite. Just
Right,
Formal.
you like
yeah.
asking questions like out of sheer curiosity,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
envy, and they come across as judgy.
She's just like,
Why are you putting that on?
Yeah,
It's
what
like,
is that?
and-
What is that lipstick?
yeah. Oh my god.
Huh.
And I think actually it kind of digs deeper into the previous thing we were talking about, because it's very likely that Juno's kind of putting you a bit on a pedestal, and is almost treating you as like she can do no wrong. So it's like there's a little bit of insecurity where I get like when I'm asking a question and like you're giving me sort of like a cold answer. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, okay.
Well, she wouldn't give you a cold answer. She'd just give you a polite answer, but a polite and like, how do I get this person to stop asking me these questions?
Yes,
How do
but I think I might be be as cold and being like,
Oh,
what am I doing wrong? How come
Yeah.
I can't,
My
can't
anxiety
connect it?"
actualized.
You know, like,
For everybody who's just joining us, welcome. We are playing the Golden Emmy Award-winning deck. We're doing some backstories for the characters, and are gonna be starting up the full adventure next week.
Yeah.
Right.
I have one more
You've one
card,
more.
if you'll allow it.
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh.
So this one has a pretty lady on it. The other
Pretty
one has-
lady.
yes.
Pretty lady.
And let's see. You helped blank when they were at their lowest. How did you help them? And I think I'm going to give this one to Connie, and that's how we became friends initially.
Yes.
Like you, I'm not. You can paint the situation for me because I don't want to like assume
Yeah.
there was one. I just know that like I was there for you when you were struggling, and that's kind of how our friendship started.
I think maybe when Connie first came into, where were we again?
Mornhaven.
Mornhaven.
In Mornhaven, Connie was not doing well. And I wonder, kind of, maybe having come from the Midlands, kind of not as well dressed and as put together as she is currently. And I wonder if Céline, like, seeing Connie trying to do what now Connie does a lot more successfully because she's got the whole fit together. She looks very well dressed and has a poise about her. I wonder if Céline helped her get there.
I think she would have like. I think maybe it was one of the situations where she saw you like really struggling. Like maybe
you were trying to get a job. Like you're trying to do the right thing.
Mhm.
Trying
And-
to con
yeah.
dinner out of a shitty place.
Yeah, and Mornhaven was just not. So we have maybe you have like that like little scene where you're like in the rain sitting on the side of the road. You don't have any more money for like stay anywhere,
Mhm.
and like you just see this umbrella come over you, and it's Céline, and she's like, "I think you're talented," and then you get like that's how their friendship starts.
Aw.
Aw, shucks and willikers.
They perfected
like-
picking pockets together.
It's like I'm such a failure tonight. The only thing that I could con out of people was this foie gras. Celine's like, ah.
And I think Céline might
Get
have
out of the
actually
rain.
tried to teach you how to pick pockets by seducing people, because that's like her main weapon is like,
Mhm.
oh, you're so wonderful. Like laws you with compliments, sticks her hand in your pocket, and leaves
Yeah.
like, your wallet. That black card is hers now. But you know, but like maybe it didn't work for you, so you ended up putting like your own spin on it. And,
Yeah.
like, that's how their relationship sort of evolved.
Yeah, I think
You know?
Connie has taken some of it and is like knows how to talk to people in a way to like get their guard down a little
Mhm.
better, but now it's like
Yeah.
But yeah, Ned steals from them.
Yep.
Picks her pocket.
Mhm.
That's my coin.
Love.
So something that
Huh.
various people said inspired me to just jot these notes down. But so I think the wolf has different connections with people.
Oh,
yeah.
So I think the wolf wants to defeat Juno because sees Juno as like in the pecking order. Like it's like, well, I need to. That's clearly I'm more dominant than Juno, and I need to like put Juno in their place, which is silly. The wolf, I'm like Devlin appreciates Céline, but I think the wolf likes Céline. I genuinely like Céline and doesn't like the fact
like
that
into Céline.
well, no, not like but just like this
Just
is
pick up this person, right?
yeah, likes this person,
Mhm.
and is but because you're distant with Devlin, it annoys the wolf because the wolf's like, be friends with her, which is cool, And I think the wolf looks to Connie like the pack leader, like looks to Connie for direction.
Mm-hmm.
Where Devlin might be like, well, nah, that doesn't seem safe. The wolf's like, no, she said we should do that. We should do that.
I like that.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I think what's funnier is that the way Céline is with Juno
Mhm.
lends into this idea that
Yeah.
they're higher in the pecking order.
Right, and it just annoys the wolf because the wolf's
Yes.
like, come on, okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That actually is kind of great because I have something that I think that hooks right into that too.
Okay.
Woo! So I have this one. You knew blank before joining the group and were jealous of them. Why? And there's the other flip of this card is you knew and trusted blank before joining the group. How did you meet? But I actually like the jealous one.
Mm.
And I think there's an interesting thing for Devlin and I,
yeah.
where I think it could be that I've seen him doing his thing with his
The musketeer thing.
your musketeer thing, the ease with which you kind of fit into your platoon, the fact that you were sort of I don't know, maybe there's some kind of
He's from a completely different country.
oh,
But we
interesting.
could have
But-
there could have been
yeah.
something where we were detached to the Mornhaven embassy
That's
or
true,
something.
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, and maybe I was a little jealous of like
Or would Devlin have joined before Juno in our little
oh yeah.
Here-
and
Yeah.
yeah.
What if they showed up at the same time? They both walked in and we're just like, what?
We were getting happy in a bar,
Yes.
having a good time.
Exactly.
And both of them was like, what the fuck is happening right now?
We were taking our gold winnings
Mhm.
that we got that we had conned
Yep.
last time, and while we were having shots, they showed up.
Yeah, and these two literal wild cards.
But I like what you're saying though, because it's like if Juno saw Devlin back when he was like a confident,
Yeah.
like, probably arrogant, swaggering musketeer captain, and now he's the way he is now. But like, would Juno be jealous of him then? Because like he's very different now.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's not. I mean, I'd be hard to be really like jealous of Devlin. I mean, he's sort of pathetic
I mean,
in like the best of ways.
But interesting.
Always has been.
No, just now.
Yeah.
Before he was probably.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
I think you're alluding to was.
I think if you say if Devlin was like stationed somewhere nearby where
Yeah.
I could have observed it, it could have been just that it wasn't even about you per se, but people like you. And sort of, I think, still thinking of orcs as like they are still somehow perceived as like somebody we made room for. in
Mhm.
like this land, right? Somebody we accommodated, refugees of sort. And there's something about seeing someone like you being like, oh, look at this person, just kind of can go from town to town, coast to coast, and can just wherever they walk in, the table is set, and sort of that idea sort of latched on. And
Yeah,
and
or
maybe,
like, what if like
Words.
yeah, figure the beginning of this is very so you get to figure that part out. But like if there was something military that, or even if it was like some little excursion, an adventuring excursion or whatever that you had to do, and your battle skill, you used that and you were like, oh well, look at this, if we do this here and we cut the road in
Tactical,
half
whatever.
and like and you were like, oh my god. Like, not only did he just like walk into this group and know what he knew exactly what to do, and those are great tactics and that sort of thing. And
Would Juno?
that's
What
cool.
would Juno's like? If Juno was jealous of Devlin, then it probably is. It still now?
I think what's, and I don't know, we all think about this, but the fact that you when you went full Wolfie and
Oh, that was the other guy.
and then, yeah, and I got hurt because of you. I think it's now like has put like a bit of like extra salt on the wound. The fact that at some point I kind of admired you.
Maybe tying into that might be this idea that I somehow still think I'm going to go back to being that. Like somehow I'll get this cure and be like, oh yeah, I can just go back and
And maybe a part of me is like, yeah, I bet he could.
Or
I
like-
bet they wouldn't even care. For him,
You know when you like meet a hero of yours and they don't live up to your expectations?
oh yeah,
Find out they're mortals.
Yeah, find out that they're mortals or that they hurt you in a way, and now
not
it's
as cool
like,
as we thought.
not as cool as you thought. And I wonder if like this like kind of jealousy, this like I wish I could be like you, is now like you used to be someone like, or
You
not,
used to
maybe
be
not
so cool.
maybe not you specifically, but it's like you as a concept was so cool to me, and like you particularly have kind of ruined this image for me.
I like that.
And also like you could be that. Why did you let yourself become
Oh, I like that.
this like,
I like that a
sad
lot.
image, this
Yeah.
shattered image
Which-
of what you used to be? You could
now
be
I'm so
so great.
mad at you.
And that plays up
Funny,
really
that's
well
good.
into this because it says you want your relationship with blank to change, but you're not even sure how to approach them. And I think if Juno is like looking at Devlin like you could still be that guy if you would just suck it up and stop being such a timid moron.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, well, why don't they like me? Like we're both soldiers. We should have this simpatico thing, and it's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
How you
Yeah.
begin disentangling a trauma to somebody who is like very, very clearly influenced by what happened to you because you
Right.
wolfed out on them and hurt them. But like, how do you begin detangling that when you haven't even begun to grapple with the trauma itself?
Right.
Like
Yep,
you
yeah.
haven't
The
even
tra-
begun to
things-
accept that has happened to you and that your life is different forever. Like,
And I think Devlin is still blaming the wolf. I think he's still like, oh no, he did that, and it's no, he did it,
Mm-hmm.
but he hasn't grappled that thought.
it's
You
like,
are the drama.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
And I think clearly, yeah, you're the problem. It's you.
Yeah.
And clearly, I think Juno is projecting a lot of that on you. So it is not fair for her to put this sort of like,
He can take it.
So how does this manifest now? Are you guys constantly bickering or something? Because I
that's what I'm thinking. I was like, how is this going to be? Is it that we're going to be just sort of frumpy around each
Well,
other?
but maybe it's the opposite of that. Maybe Juno's just keeps trying to drive him, like
Whoa.
maybe like you would with the other orcs. Like, come
Oh,
on,
God,
get
yes.
get up. We're gonna go run 15 miles. Come on, we're gonna run 15 miles.
No, come on. You got 2 more in you. Let's go.
Yeah, it's like drill
Yeah.
sergeant-y sort
Yeah.
of a thing, and Devlin's just sort of like, I can do that, sure, yeah, because it's like he wants Juno to respect him, and he's like, I can do that. I'm sure my leg, I can't feel my legs, but it's fine.
you think Juno's bullying you. Juno is just trying to be like, come on,
I
you
saw
just
you
need-
do this.
You
Yeah.
just need to get back into the habit of it, right? Like you just need to get back into the flow, and then it'll start to
good.
ease up.
Yeah.
But like it's that disconnect. I think often, just in my normal life, but also here a little bit, just thinking of your trauma is not your fault, but it is your or like your stuff. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility
to
on-
work through it.
Yeah, and how you interact with people based off of like, I have the spicy brain. It doesn't mean I get to be mean to everybody
Right, exactly.
because I
Doesn't
have
give you
spicy.
permission to take your trauma out on others. Yep.
Exactly, and like you
Yeah.
have to.
Wait a minute. That
Yeah.
doesn't give me permission to be an asshole.
Wow,
That's why you. That's why you're in
Let's
jail.
go. Yeah.
I gotta go.
What's funny?
Somebody once hurt me. Now I get to hurt everyone.
Yeah, that's how that works.
What's interesting is like when I came up with this idea, I wasn't quite sure. I knew I wanted to explore this idea of the two personalities, but I wasn't really sure how it would play out in game. Like, am I going to be talking to myself? But what we talked about here is so great because like the wolf can talk to you guys, and then you guys can talk to Devlin about and it's almost like this weird
loop.
circle loop thing.
It's a telephone.
Yeah, it's telephone because
Oh, I think the wolf actually thinks this thing. No, the wolf thinks that.
no, he told me that he
Yeah.
thinks you're being a dick. Wolf would like you to suck it up.
I'm
Said that?
I'm
The
just
wolf-
imagining like Connie and Céline watching this super intense training session, just sipping tea, like having commentary.
Like, yeah. They're doing push-ups today.
They're just climbing that tree over
Yeah.
and over again.
They know we're not leaving for like 7 hours, right?
Do it again, faster. Climb higher.
Do you want to take that? Who's gonna faint first? You know?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely bets going
Yeah,
on.
like,
Ugh.
I got a silver on Devlin passing out first.
No, not even a bet.
Not taking that action.
we watched Devlin fall out of the tree.
Oh, there we go.
Mhm. You were right. Here you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
I also think it'd be funny if, like, at some point the wolf wrote a letter. It's like, all right, the wolf told me to tell you. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that either. I'm not saying that either.
He says hi.
He says hello.
The paw print.
Yeah.
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 It's like a middle finger.
Hello,
paw
there.
print.
I could have
Yeah.
some raw meat.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
More raw meat in the diet, less chicken.
But I love the idea that that
That's
Devlin
cool.
thinks that Juno's bullying him,
Yeah.
but he's doing it because he's sort of a follower at this point.
Mhm.
But and Juno thinks that he's helping.
Yeah. Yeah.
Helping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof,
Oh, man.
This is too relatable, honestly.
Great.
know.
I love it. I love it.
It's like when
you
you
got to get into your
it's like when you
Oh, man.
realize like
Getting personal with ttrpg.
just a little bit. You
When
know,
you get
right
to
what
that
you
age
know means
where you-
emotionally.
Yeah.
when you realize you're like your parents are not. Like,
Oh yeah, there's that
the-
moment. Yeah.
the-
Mhm.
You know, these big personalities and
Mhm.
big authority, and that they were just making stuff up as they
The
went
whole
along
time.
because they were just you.
Yeah.
You know, a certain time ago.
Oh, my kids are, one of my kids is in college and the other one's in high school. And I keep thinking, the hospital let me take them home. Like, but there wasn't even like a test. It was just, here's some kids.
Oh man.
Raise them, have fun.
Yep. Here's the child.
Don't fuck them up.
I'm suddenly realizing that I pick really traumatized characters. Like, all the other characters I picked are like totally there's probably something deeper in that. But anyway,
Could look into that, but instead I'm going to play D&D.
Me
Because
traumatized.
traumatized characters are the fun ones to play.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
they have a little more nuance, I think,
Yeah.
and you
And
can
I mean-
explore stuff.
Well, if everything
Yeah,
was
in order
fun at
to-
home, you would become an adventurer. This is horribly dangerous.
Yeah.
Exactly. If
Yeah,
you're going to
exactly.
delve into the horrible depths of a dead race,
Yeah.
you know, there's got to be something wrong with it.
Oh, geez.
All right.
I had a perfect
Anybody else
childhood,
have
nothing was
cards?
wrong.
Oh.
Here we go.
Here we go. Sorry.
No, it's all good. You shared a deep desire or ambition with blank. What made you trust them? I wonder if Juno, as part of like, okay, we're now stuck together. Just in a moment of like bonding, just shares something that I will text you later.
Text it.
Oh my
this
gosh,
message
like,
to you
heck
later.
yeah.
Text this later, but something. She's looking for somebody or a couple people, and for reasons that she's not proud of.
Okay.
But she is seeking them, and I think maybe if Juno was like, "Yeah, I'm on board. Like, I'm with you. Like, ride or die." I think that would have made Connie trust Juno like a lot more. Even if we're kind of new to each other, just being like, "Here's this kind of not great part of myself and a not great desire that I would like that I share and very rarely share with people, but you are like, I still think that I'm going to follow you, and I think that you're a champion worth following." I think that would have meant a lot to Connie.
Aww.
It's all the feels.
Whoa.
Yes,
that-
100%.
What- Can you read the prompt one more time just so that
Yeah.
you get everything?
You shared a deep desire or ambition with blank. What made you trust them?
Yeah.
And I think just the like, I'm with you on this. Like, you're not a bad person for wanting these things, or even if these things are bad, I am with you. Like there's that scene in The Town, I think, where Ben Affleck goes to Jeremy Renner's character and it's like, all right, I need you to get in the car. You're not going to ask what we're doing. I'm not going to tell you. Yeah, I'm not telling you what we're doing. I'm not telling you where we're going. We're just going to go and we're never going to talk about it again. Whose car are we taking? Like,
Yeah.
just
It's my buddy Tim. When we were in our 20s, we were roommates, and he would like open the door and go, "Come on," and I would just get up and go.
Yep.
And like we'd be 20, 30 minutes down the road, no questions asked. We were just going wherever we had to go. Because we were robbing banks, so you know.
Yeah.
Like you did.
Well, Tim was robbing banks. I was helping.
You were just a getaway driver.
Jeez.
That's the old John. Had a whole other vibe. Like,
To add a layer to that,
I love
if
this.
if you're gonna go with this, which I think you should because it sounds great. if Juno still came to Connie thinking it's Connie's sister, did you come to Connie with like orders? Like the council or whatever, whoever the witches are, want you to do you and Connie to do this. And so you've shown up with like orders, like here, this is the thing we're supposed to do.
The Baba Yaga says.
Yeah, grandmother says we need to go do this, and you're like,
Oh, that's cool. We
Yeah.
gotta.
I'm guessing orders from Baba Yaga don't actually burn.
Yeah, that was the weirdest thing.
It actually just burns your
Sweat
handbag.
was on the paper, yeah. No, the paper literally went and just blew it out.
Like whatever the orders are, it was something that your sister would have been great at.
Huh.
Yeah.
You
That would be
not
very
as much.
funny, Yeah.
So
It's not suited for you at all. And
we were like kind of saying I had these. Let's say I came with these orders, and you were like, I have this thing I need help doing, and I'm like, sweet. You know what? Forget about this. We're gonna do your thing, and so I'm kind of blowing off the orders from Baba Yaga.
or you're gonna do both or something.
Yeah.
do
Or it's
both,
like
yeah.
it's not time sensitive, so we're like like
Mm.
skirting.
We'll get to that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the side quest, like the finding loopholes. That's what I'm looking
Yeah,
for.
yeah,
Finding
The
the loophole.
Baba Yaga side quest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I for some reason pictured Baba Yaga's request is like a coffee shop punch card.
Yeah.
One quest, two quests.
Oh my gosh.
I also I really love this idea. You know what it made me think about is like something very very humanizing about people you admire or you like revere, kind of showing you that they're like, hey, I'm kind of like a sensitive, vulnerable person, and here's something I'm really, really, insecure about. And here's something I just really need help with, and you're like, listen, that actually makes me admire you even more. The fact that you're so like willing to be open about something that you're so scared of. So I think that'd be pretty rad.
Yeah.
Nice.
Do you know that I'm not that I'm not the witch you're assigned to?
I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
Hear me out.
D4 minus 1.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Hear me out though. The missive
Yeah.
that you came with. What if Connie? Because this is this seems very Connie to me. You can decide if it is or not. You like high key but low key, send it to your sister, and so whenever Juno brings it up, you're like, yeah, we'll do it. But it never like quite manages to get done because you've already like kind of gotten rid of it because it's not your problem to begin with. It was meant for someone else.
See, if I was the DM though, it would be like, yeah, you sent it, but it keeps showing up in Juno's like, well, we still have this. And you're like, I've sent it 6 times.
That would actually also be very funny.
Yeah, no matter how many times Connie tries to get rid of it, it's like
It just
maybe it's not one.
keeps showing up.
It's like it was intended. I don't know. Baba Yaga to me is always this kind of weird.
Baba Yaga knows exactly
Yeah.
what to do.
Baba Yaga,
Yes.
like fate, and pulls these weird little strings that you might not understand what the
Right.
game is, but Baba
Yes.
Yaga understands what the game is.
Because the game unfolds 800 years down the line.
Yeah, and I
Right.
wonder if this letter is still for Hester, but it's like, well, it found you, so now you are it's sent to the
Yeah.
intended, but
Yeah.
you are now the intended because it hit you
Oh,
first.
Yeah.
gotcha.
And maybe
Okay.
something about the
That'd be
sort of
interesting.
an arcane, whatever magical, mechanic there with it is that like once you take on this missive,
Mhm.
whatever the missive that was intended for Hester now changes. And so now something else is going to be
Ooh.
Hester, somebody else befalls Hester, something else Hester has to do. So the fact that you're taking on your like sister's thing might have like implications for Hester's, right? There could be something interesting there. That's a cool,
Mm.
cool
Yeah.
pitch.
Especially if Baba Yaga is kind of omnipotent, which we kind of probably assume she is. You know, like it'd be like, yeah, send this to Hester, knowing full well it's going to end up with our Connie.
Mm.
Also, I want to point out again, it's not a matter of being stupid, but I think Juno does have that -1 to smarts with a D4. Maybe she's not much like of a heavy reader. Maybe she's not really reading the context. Too many words. Whatever. I believe
You got
Yeah.
you got part of the name right. As far as, like, you've never asked, like, who asks, oh, are you the right Connie? No. Are you Connie? Yes. That was enough.
Yeah, maybe it's like blah
Yay.
blah Hester blah blah.
Well, I'm
you
sure
know,
she would have
sister
told
of
me if she
Connie.
was the wrong person.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Who
Yeah,
would?
why
Who
would she
wouldn't?
go?
Who wouldn't?
Why? Yeah. Why would
That's crazy.
Maybe you never even looked at it. Maybe you just saw it and said, "This is a lot of writing, but I'll give it to the person it's intended for," and assumed that Connie was Hester, and just
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you think that maybe when I show up and you're this plan to reach out to somebody or to ask or to find somebody to help you to reach out to someone, like that's when that plan formulates like, okay, I'm going to tell this person, yes, I am Connie. This is for me. And maybe if I get a good vibe on this person, maybe I can ask this person to help me with this thing that
Yeah.
I'm kind of afraid to ask other people.
Yeah, I wonder if she like. I wonder if they're like. Do you think you would have known what the missive says, or like it just like Connie's like the only one who could open and read it?
Maybe it's in like druid speak. Or
Yeah,
like,
it's like
right.
Witch writings or
yeah, witch
Yeah.
writing
like-
runes. Or...
you ever see this like the words keep moving and it's like if you
oh yeah, sort of.
and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
always moving unless Connie's the one like reading it and then it
Yes.
straightens out.
Sure.
Like,
Or maybe the moment you open it, like Howl's Moving Castle, it burns
Burns it.
into something like a piece of furniture or something, and you know what that means and what that is, but everyone else is like, "That's a really good table that just got set on fire." Okay,
it
you
would
know.
be interesting if it's something you couldn't run away from and it tattoos, let's say, into your hand.
Like you
As
touch
like
it and
you
it's like,
cannot escape. Like
oh,
you
Oh,
can
like
walk
that.
away as long as you would like, but you like this is a reminder for
You
the
can
rest
check
of
out anytime you
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but you can never leave.
like for the
Exactly.
rest of your life that
Yeah.
this is the duty given to you. This is something given to you by Baba Yaga to complete, and you
Yeah.
cannot walk. You
Away.
can't always walk
Yeah.
away from it.
Well, here's
One
the
cannot simply walk
You will
away
wait
from your
That's
from
right.
Baba
Yeah.
Yaga.
Welcome to the Hotel
Here's
Connie
the thought, though.
Corner.
Here's the thought playing up on that. Like, what if so the council or whatever gets this? Bobby Yaga's like, yes, give the champion to Hester and with this note, and you get the name wrong or whatever it is, but you get to Connie, you give her the note, but when Connie opens it and reads it, it's not addressed to Hester, it's addressed to you,
Oh,
Yeah,
snap.
100%.
Yeah.
and it's something that you don't want to do.
Oh, interesting.
But now, and like you keep kind of trying to get away from it, but it keeps like now it's on your hand, and you keep
Yeah.
like the letter keeps like reappearing, and it's like
I particularly enjoy a letter that you keep trying to ditch that keeps showing up again.
Yeah.
Like that. But I also really like the tattoo idea. So.
you could probably have both.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
could be.
why not
It
both?
could be that every time she tries to like remove it, or like because she has healing, right? That any time that she has tried to heal away the tattoo, because what is the tattoo except like quite literally stabbing yourself
Yeah.
a million times? And
Mhm.
any time she has tried to heal it away, it has always the letter has come back in some way. Like she's digging through these papers, and the letter is just sitting in the middle of a pile of papers, unrelated to anything,
In
and
a
just
sandwich.
seals
Oh
back
my
onto.
God.
Exactly. You
funny,
guys are
yeah.
getting ready to like
right.
Yep.
flee town, or I mean, go on vacation, and you like open up these suitcases that you haven't used in years, and it's right there.
Yep.
What if like when Baba Yaga wants to remind you that you have a task to do, like the tattoo like burns or something or sears itself. And he goes,
Shah reminds
Ooh,
you of.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's right.
it hurts.
My name's Shadowheart, and I'm God's favorite little princess. Hand hurts every once in a while.
Yeah, that would have been a whole different game if she had Audrey Hepburn's accent, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I know, right?
Ooh, yes.
There you go. We've got an accent for Connie now.
Yeah.
Audrey Hepburn.
Hepburn.
I'm a witch from the Midlands.
Oh my god. The transatlantic accent. Oh my
One of
God.
my favorite accents.
Yes.
One I cannot do, unfortunately. I've got one accent, and it's Southern. Otherwise, it's
Yeah.
a very, very bad Australian / English / Irish / Scottish. All together into one.
Which one it is depends on the word I'm saying.
And how drunk you are. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I will be doing a lot of accents. That's one of my favorite things. One of the things about this adventure that I was like, no, we have to have flashbacks so I can do some accents.
Oh my God.
It's not just you guys talking to each
So
other.
fun.
Amazing. Okay.
This is rad.
Yeah.
Just want to say for the record.
Yeah,
this
It's
is
gonna be
rad.
fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting to see Céline, who's most of her skills are big city skills. How this applies on the open road,
Mm-hmm.
because she's very much she's outfitted for like the big city, so
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be a challenge.
It's great. Yeah.
Because most of her skills are social, so and it sounds like we're not going to run into that many people on the open road, I guess, for Oregon trailing this to high keep.
Don't think of it that way. Think of it more like, how many bandit gangs can you turn over to become your personal servitors?
Also fair.
We roll into
Put it that
Heike with
way.
a whole army of bandits.
Well, yes, and I mean it is
She
Céline.
is the
and-
bandit queen.
Yeah.
it is Céline, and Céline is very much has this lemons to lemonade attitude. Like, just because she's not in a city does not mean that she's gonna let that get her down and be like, oh no, we're not in a city. But she is bringing every single dress with her, so one of you is carrying a large trunk.
That'd be Juno.
She would
Yeah.
never leave the red bottoms behind. Okay.
You'll carry them in your hands if you have to the entire way.
Exactly.
And I'm
Like- She'll wear boots to walk in, but those Louboutins are coming along.
In their carrying case.
Yes.
As intended.
and I'm getting
Exactly.
our little army to do push-ups all the time.
That's right.
Meanwhile, you two are like, "Do you
Come
even
on."
lift, bro?"
Yes.
You can use the chest as part of the workout if
Yeah.
you want, because it's going to be pretty
Oh,
heavy.
please don't help. Please don't.
You're welcome.
This is not- Sure.
All right. Lay down and
Now lift this chest. Oh my God, it's so heavy.
chest presses.
Chest press.
We just hear, "Let's get down to business."
Well, hey, if we go into montage though, he'll be buff in like a second.
Oh yeah, it'll be great.
All right, great. So like,
Love.
I
montage.
expect some hardcore RP then, everybody, where you're like, all right, I pull Connie aside. I pull Céline aside. Like that sort of stuff. Have little things. I'm going to definitely make sure that there is room in the adventure for you all to have your fun and entertaining. And then also like just stuff where you can flash back to time in Mornhaven and something, relationshipy, but that is still funny or whatever, and that'll always get you bennies and stuff. So if you're feeling like you're running low,
Is that like a thing that we can do? Like, can we ask you to flashback, or are you just going to?
you can just flash it back. Yeah.
Yeah, everything goes baby.
Say like, all right. So hey, remember the time where flashback?
Nice.
We did
Yeah.
a flashback to 10 minutes ago. That's
Yeah.
all.
Hey, remember when I told you about 10 minutes ago?
Yeah. Exactly. So remember that time that we flashed back?
Remember the time we
to-
died under a table?
It just becomes a clip montage show where we're
Right.
just cutting back to other
Yeah.
clips.
Wait, when is this? No, this is now.
Oh god.
Right. We're just cutting back to other clip shows.
Yeah.
But when
Everyone's
now?
confused. We're
Well, now was then.
confused. It's
That was
great.
before.
Uh-huh. Now is now.
When was that? We missed it.
So yeah, so you're basically going to be headed through one of the passes from Mornhaven to Highkeep into Illusia, trying to beat the snow. And I think the
100%
thing that
wait for the next coach.
Oh yes. Are you
Yeah.
Bugs
Yeah, this
Bunnying
is-
that?
essentially the last coach of the year,
Mhm.
but not that you
The
should
last
not
coach of the year.
before
It gets
Snowfalls.
before conditions get too dangerous
Mhm.
to travel.
To travel.
We're not gonna. I don't want to be like the Donner Pass. I am not going to get eaten, and I'm not going to eat you.
No.
exactly. So
We're too good looking.
and then you're
Got that right.
basically your coach is broken down, and you're gonna have to figure things out from there, and that's pretty much where we're gonna pick up from. But it is also very, very close to the end of the year and the Midwinter Festival, which is called Yule's Eve.
Yay, Midwinter.
And it would delight me greatly if somebody was super into Yule's Eve.
Huh.
So it's all
I'll
right.
be super into Midwinter.
Yeah, at least one person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know how many things they mule for mule? The old
Mull.
one? Mull.
Mull.
Wow, hello
Mull.
words.
Hello, words.
Do you know how
What
many
a
things they
word.
mull for Yule's Eve?
Sometimes mules.
You just-
Well, I mean, it is winter,
Mulled
so
mules.
mulled wine and
A
spiced
mule.
wine are
Yeah.
things
Mhm.
that we could
Yeah.
They are
hot
delicious.
cocoa. This is
Gonna
hot
mull
drink
over all those
season. This
recipes.
is like you're gonna be in your element.
Mhm.
Cozy.
I'm just waiting for that moment of like we're waist deep in snow and Celine's like, this is the worst Yule I've ever done.
That's right. Well, there's, it's generally celebrated bonfires, candles in windows, and there's like 3 nights of celebration. There's, holly and mistletoe and all sorts of like decorations and wreaths and that sort of thing. But then you like give away like glass baubles to each other, little favors and things like that. You take kind of, these are the things that happened this past year that like I'm putting into the past, and you throw them into the bonfire, like that sort of thing. So it's both an
Lovely.
midwinter festival and then like also a rebirth kind of festival.
Well, we can definitely do the bonfire. The holly and the mistletoe are still attached to the original source. It's that tree.
Yep.
You're burning all the holly.
There's a goat and we have to set it on fire.
Oh,
There's a
see, there was a joke there of like if we set something on fire, it's like, oh look, there's our bonfire.
Well, do
Yay!
you, do you
Gather
know
around
that-
this orc.
Happy Yule's Eve, everybody.
Gather around this ogre.
It's like a house burning down.
No. Do you know that like there's a I forget what it is. There's this like straw goat in like in a northern Western European country where like every year this fucking goat gets burned down, or people try to burn down this goat, and it's like now a tradition for people to try and burn this goat down.
Yeah, it's like
And they have,
Denmark or Norway.
Yeah, and they have all this like
God.
security cameras set up. And there was one time where like people they shot a flaming arrow at it. Someone smashed their car into it, and so there's a record on Wikipedia now of like, did the goat survive this year?
Oh my
Like, and
God.
it's like there's like a straight like good long like 4-year span where it survived. And then it just destroyed. At one point, magpies started pulling it apart to
Oh,
like
wow.
make nests. They're like,
Wow.
Even the
Look.
birds don't like that goat.
yeah.
Those magpies took years to train.
Let's
That's
get
a lot of
down
dedication.
to
That's
business
right.
to defeat
The
the goat.
The gabble goat from Sweden.
The gabble
Gabble
go.
goat.
Yep, and it gets destroyed a lot.
Someone just called us Team Magpies, which I think is
That's
a
fair.
very thematically
Yeah.
appropriate name.
That's fair.
Mhm. All right,
Yeah.
that's the official name of the adventuring party. Team Magpies.
I just want you all to know that when we get caught in the past and we're freezing to death, the wolf will be fine.
Because,
Wow, that's
wolf.
real.
it'll have plenty of food.
Yeah, yeah. I want you all to know.
That's real kind of you, Devlin.
That's very.
No, that would probably the wolf. The wolf will probably be. The wolf will be like, "I'll be fine."
Mhm.
Very
Which
astute.
I just want you all to know that.
First.
If we all get stuck in this path, I'll be fine.
You don't need to worry about me. I'll be fine.
The rest of you, on the other hand.
But you know, I'm not sweating this at all.
Yeah.
No, you guys, big thighs. That's I'm just saying.
Big time
Good
save
luck.
this life.
Save lives.
All I'm saying is someone is going to get me out of the snow before my dress gets wet, or someone is going to die. Choose.
Who's got 2
Yeah.
dew claws? It'll be fine. This guy.
All right. Oh yeah. One thing I was watching an interview with some people who stream Savage Worlds.
Uh-huh.
They say one thing that Savage Worlds actual play watchers enjoy is talk about your rolls when you use a Benny. Say that you're using a Benny, and then your new roll, all that kind of stuff. That's all I remember from.
Rolls and bennies. Got it.
Mhm. Yeah. So
Rolls as in like rolls of dice, or rolls as in like
rolls of dice,
okay, like roll.
I thought they
not
were
as
dinner
in
rolls. I
things
was
that you
so
eat that covered in
excited
for
cinnamon
the
in the morning.
bread.
We're not doing.
I
Talk about the cinnamon roll.
Oh.
I was really looking forward to like dinner rolls, and then I realized what kind of rolls we're talking about, and it's like, no.
You can still eat your dice if you're brave.
I mean, sure, but I'll try
Really
that
good
off
tea.
camera.
You're brave.
You're really good
Love
tea.
that challenge.
Everything
They
Everything
actually
is
do-
edible
they
at least once.
They actually do make candy dice. I'm just saying. So if you really want it to be spiteful, you just buy yourself some candy dice and then you eat them.
Have
in
you
front of
seen the
your
gummy
player.
dice? They're not
my
edible, but they're like squishy.
Oh
Yep.
God.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, it's the Tide Pods all over.
Yeah, it totally is. Totally is.
Yeah, but these ones will exit your body and you'll still probably be alive.
Hey, that's
Hurts
fair.
much less.
Yeah.
Good. Good.
Yeah, you gotta go for the
Gotcha.
D6s.
D4 is a bad time.
No.
Oh,
They're
I'm
the
really
worse than a
looking
Lego
forward
man.
to
Yeah.
some of these character interactions, though.
Me too.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Anyone have any questions for me or anything further?
Mm,
Hmm.
I'm thinking.
You're real thinking.
I
You're real thinking.
I think a lot.
Okay.
Mhm,
I mean, our
Yeah,
carriage is
possibly.
broken down, so that answers that question.
mhm.
Whose fault is it?
Oh, how much?
Oh, geez.
So I'm starting
My
this
stabbing.
new YouTube series called Dungeoneer that should be going live maybe next week.
Ooh.
And you already made it into one of the scripts. Um, let's see here.
We did it, Ma.
Hit it big.
We made it.
Blaming.
I'd like to thank the Academy.
No.
We're finally in a module, folks.
Yeah.
Where- Let's see
Gamers
where-
Darkness Rising all over again.
Oh, geez.
Where is this? Oh, there we go. So I'm talking about getting this particular one is about bringing the party together, and this line says, "But your carriage just broke a wheel, and someone, I'm not going to say who, tossed the spare to make room for a bag full of underthings."
That narrows it down.
Me? Is it me? Am I the drama?
Am I
my-
the problem?
Did my Louboutins do this? They would never.
Well, I mean, there wasn't room for that extra wheel.
Do I
If-
bring these Velvetons or do I bring the spare wheel? What are the chances we're gonna break down?
Well, I mean, there's no
Carriage is
question. Yeats wheel.
Yeah.
Eats wheel, exactly.
You ever see Trail to Oregon?
Oregon Trail.
There's a Star
Nature
Trail
Trail
Kids
to Hell.
there's a Star Kids musical.
Kids
I'm like
reading.
my brain just works on like reference. There's a
Yeah.
Star Kid musical.
too.
They're kind of goofy, like very irreverent sort of musicals, but there's one where they're like Oregon Trail and they improv the names at the beginning. They'll take like name suggestions from the audience, and then one of the scenes, like the kid is like, "Yeah, I've just been chucking things off the back of the wheel. I've been so bored. I've been chucking things off the back of the wagon just to see how they break." And the entire family just turns and looks at the kid, and they're like, "What do you mean you've been chucking stuff off the back of the wagon?" He's like, like the food, the spare wheels, like our clothes. And they're like,
Ugh.
"You're 8 and I can't kill you, but I sure do want
The
to."
game won't let you kill that person.
Yeah.
Look, they're
Can I
alone
just-
in that pass.
Yeah.
Things happen.
Can I just let you die of dysentery? Like,
You have died of dysentery. Bye.
All right.
Uh,
Well, if there's nothing else,
Yeah.
we're gonna wrap up our first session 0 here on Happy Jam. So thank you to everybody who is listening later or tuning in now. And I would like to thank our chat mods for their hard work.
Yeah.
Dark Lord
Yay.
Canada tonight. Thank you so much. We
Thank
literally
you.
can't do this without them.
Thank you, man.
Let's see. Thank you to our amazing Patreons who keep us ad-free and independent. It's because of you
Those
that we're able to play games we enjoy without worrying about publishing companies or system popularity.
Yay.
You can join their heroic ranks at happyjacks.org/Patreon. And now we're gonna give a little exits. So
Should we thank Kimmy?
we'll get there.
Okay. She knows what she did.
She did. Everything. Thank you, Kimmy. Yeah, if you join our Patreon, you can help Kimmy. She keeps all this going for us.
That would be any award-winning Kimmy, wouldn't it?
Any
Yeah,
award,
award-
golden,
Golden.
Kimmy.
Any
Award-winning
award-winning Kimmy.
Kimmy.
That's right. Who made
Gotta put
Little
all
game.
the laurels on,
That's right.
a
okay?
little game called this.
Deck 'em up.
The world
All right,
building.
so reintroduce yourself, share your social media, and any other announcements you might have. Who wants to start? Oh,
That's the opposite.
Me. Thank you all for coming. I'm Brian Suskind. I'm a designer for Cobalt Press and many other places. You
Give me
can find me on Facebook and Instagram under Brian Suskind. And hope to see you next week.
Woo!
yeah. Woo.
Hello, hello. My name is Vixie Bell, and I am your friendly neighborhood player at the table today. I am over at the Pocket Dragon Pub Twitch channel doing live play, GMing, and playing. And I hope to see you all there at some point as well. You can find us at twitch.tv/The Pocket Dragon Pub.
Hi y'all, I'm Artem again. You can find me on Instagram at Artem directly. And I've got a couple of podcasts. I have a podcast where I pair scary movies with sandwiches and I talk about what they have in common. It's called A Scary Movie and a Sandwich. And I'm currently working on the second season.
Yes.
That is,
And
had to.
I know.
The
It's
edible kicked in. by the time you-
it's groundbreaking, honestly, deep stuff. And also have a little TTRPG podcast that I'm working on called I Only Got Three Voices. Because sometimes you only got
Yeah,
three
you got
voices.
that.
Mhm.
So, find me on Instagram, Artem directly.
All right.
Well, hello. My name is Darby, otherwise known as Chaotic Darby on the internet. I'm a TTRPG performer, community manager, possum, all around menace on the web. You can find me on the internet as Chaotic Darby. I just got an Instagram, so if you're looking for me on Instagram and you look at Chaotic Darby, you see it has my face, but no pictures, no posts, no nothing. That is, in fact, me. It is just a brand new baby account that I started because I think I should have one at this point.
Everything.
Oh my god. You can find me as the community manager for the Critical Misses channel and also as a admin member of Apochromatic Unlimited. But currently, this is kind of the first show that I'm doing regularly this year. So that is cool and fun. Otherwise, I am also developing a solo RPG called Daguerreotype Eulogy, and if you would like to playtest it, please do email me at chaoticdarby@gmail.com because I need playtesters.
Yay.
So yes,
Playtesters are very important.
playtesters are very important.
All right.
Please playtest my game.
No bunch of nerds at
And
once.
I'm Ingy, and Darby, you're a possum, and I'm a raccoon.
Yes.
Yay!
Trash,
Gay
trash,
raccoon
trash,
shirt.
trash.
You can find me on the internet at Jon Enge. If you go to jonenge.card.co, you can find a bunch of different links about me. You can find information about Aldgate, the world that we're playing in, at aldgaterpg.com. I'm also on other stuff on this channel. Check it out at happyjacks.org. And I will be starting Patreon. You can find, or I'll be starting Patreon. I'm going so well for
You
so
were
long.
doing
Coming
so
again. Can we do take two?
Pick up.
We'll fix it in post.
Yes.
One more for
starting
safety.
a
This is
web
a lot,
series called Dungeoneer. You can find it on Twitter, Instagram, at Dungeoneer Show. And I think that's about it. Join us next.
Can't wait to watch the replay just to see John melt.
Yeah. Next Thursday.
Yes.
Right, it's not Sunday. Next Thursday from 7 to 10 p.m. Pacific for our next session. If you want
By the roadside.
by the roadside. If you want to catch up on past episodes, visit happyjacks.org/Aldgate Adventures. And if you want to find all the other APs on the Happy Jack Network, visit happyjacks.org. And with that, push the button, Frank.